say that it being almost a singleton deck makes it really hard to build, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a complicated answer to a silly question. It's much harder than it has any right to be.
It's funny because I actually used to play with Tainted Pact in 100 card singleton when they let you on MTGO as a competitive
Yeah.
format. And it's a lot easier because you just put one in and it's just like, well, you play all the other cards you think are good in your strategy, but you don't have to play two of anything. But also in that format, there was actually a pretty extensive ban list in that format. Like Demonic Tutor and Vamp Tutor were banned.
Right. I've
Um,
been dabbling in a Australian 7 point Highlander where, everything basically is legal, but at a price. And that kind of strategy is pretty popular in that format to the extent that Thassa's Oracle, as just this amazing win condition, is one of the most highly pointed cards, like above most of the power, above all of the super insane stuff that's in vintage. Thassa's Oracle, you really have to pay a hefty price for, and I think that's correct. Like, it's just so good otherwise.
yeah, it's kind of funny. In fact, last weekend I was playing my friend's combo cube. I did not get Thassa's Oracle, but Bolas's Citadel sort of makes everything easy in a combo cube. I'm gonna just say that.
Yeah, I was playing the Zoomsday list a while back, which was like
Yeah.
this say Storm deck, and then like but as the Citadel with Doomsday and with Thassa's Oracle, like you can do some like weird and crazy shit with that.
Yeah, I don't know. Last weekend my favorite kill was I had Emery out with Citadel. My top card was Rite of Replication, and I had enough mana to kick it. And there was probably a Mind Stone going to be milled, and I had a Lab Maniac in play, so I just kicked Rite of Replication on my Emery, milled my entire deck, and then just got the Mind Stone back and cycled it.
Hmm.
But combo cubes, I think by definition, are easier to do that sort of shenanigans in because they're sort of designed for that, you know. But
Yeah, like that's the whole point, right? If you don't do that, then what else are you meant to be doing?
oh yeah, it's not really very fun if you're not doing that. Um, Man, I have to find the right unearthed art. There we go. I'm a purist. I'm a
Thank you.
purist, but
Yes,
well, I know you are, but
but what
make
am I?
cards bigger. Oh, I guess. Well, I can make the cards bigger, but the problem is this is a singleton deck, so eventually we're gonna run out of space.
Yeah, and maybe we have to use the list view rather than the individual card view or the whatever it is, the pile view.
Yeah, no. I might switch in a second, but so far what I'm doing right now is I'm building Menguchi's suggested list, and I'll probably want to change a few cards because I don't think I agree
Yeah.
with everything, but we need a starting point because it's just too hard to just individually come up with this deck without a starting point. I think.
Yeah, I love the historic version of this because it presents you with this new type of deck building challenge where,
Yeah.
especially in Legacy, like one of the most egregious things is if you're blue deck, you kind of know you want Brainstorm, you almost certainly want at least one of Ponder or Preordain, if not both.
Right.
Um, and so you never have to like go beyond that. But with Tainted Pact, you have to ask, okay, what is the seventh best one mana cantrip, and is that better than the fifth best discard spell? So there's a whole new set of questions now.
But I mean, not to spoil anything, I think you and I are going to watch some of the coverage next week. That's what I currently have you penciled in for. Obviously, if you want to change your mind, that's fine. But I am sort of interested to see where Historic's going to go for a bunch of reasons. You know, they cacked probably the easiest combo enabler in the format, which is Thassa's Oracle. And there is a Historic anthology.
Yeah, I'm not sure how that one compares to the previous ones, where some of those have
Yeah.
been really important, and then there was one that was basically just did literally nothing to the format. So hopefully this one will be somewhere in between there. I think the early impression seems to be that Phoenix is doing really well, and before the pact ban, our mutual friend Danny Baderman wrote a really interesting guide to some of the card choices for Phoenix. I would recommend
Mhm.
checking out. But yeah, it looks like a lot of Phoenix mirrors, a lot of, I guess, the stuff that was kind of good 2 iterations ago. Maybe John Food is good again, something like that, or the Auras deck.
I really, really do not want junk food to be good again, but I don't know if that just makes me a boomer. I guess it does, sort of,
No,
right?
That's not what makes you a boomer. That your
Okay, okay,
status
all right.
is unquestioned.
Um, I'm missing a card and I don't know what it is, and it's really hard to figure out.
More so just
Oh,
any other deck. Yeah.
let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, it's
Oh, Lifestyke
oh,
just nailed it.
is what was it?
Preordain.
Oh yeah, I also found it was preordained by looking at the deck list again. All right,
There
so
is like a where's Waldo kind of aspect to figuring that out. Yeah.
my issue with this mana base is basically an issue that is inherent in Doomsday decks for Legacy, period, but it's extra exasperated by the fact that you have to play this wonky, even wonkier mana base.
You do sound extra exasperated by this for sure. But the you do get to explore some of these lands which are just never played in Legacy otherwise, and for good reason, as it turns out. You know, it's almost always worse than the fetch shock mana bases, but like you're not
That's
going to see
shock. Whoa,
Malkuskun
whoa,
in
whoa,
any
whoa!
other.
Come on,
Oh,
back
oh
it
it's,
up. Yeah, I
yes.
know it's ingrained into you, but get out here with that shock business. We don't shock ourselves when we fetch in this. That's all I'm saying. All right. I forgot how miserable it is to build singleton decks and choose the art at the same time. So anything that jumps out about to you about this deck that you do not like currently?
I am not really into misdirection. I think.
I'm
Um,
probably gonna cut that card too.
yeah, like it's good in very specific stack battles, but the fact that you can't even contest something like a Veil of Summer is really an issue, I think. Um, I don't know if the Seagate Stormcaller kind of stuff is actually worth it in this format, just because it's so much harder to actually get to the point where you can pay 4 mana for stuff.
I'm fine with it not as a combo card, but as a cantrip card, if that makes more sense.
Sure, yeah.
I've played a lot of Secret Stormcaller in this format actually. Usually just one, because it's like really not good to draw multiple of that card. Imagine that. What the hell is that? God, that always drove me nuts.
Oh, the
What's
expeditions.
oh that's in Commander 29. Yeah, that's one thing I'm not looking forward to when I play an SCG Open or whatever. Just like looking at these random lands, I'm like, I have no idea what your land is, and I don't really care to find out, except I have to find out. You know what I mean?
There's going to be a lot of like, oh, I forgot to flip my pathway back in the sleeve or whatever, and it's going to be that first tournament is going to be a hot mess for sure.
But yeah, I don't know. How's it going for you in Canada with regards to the vaccine situation for you personally?
Uh, well, I got the first shot a few weeks ago,
Nice.
and the the vaccination effort here has like really ramped up in the past few weeks. Where
Yeah.
before we were lagging quite far behind, and now we are, I think, up there with the US in terms of the proportion of people vaccinated. Although
Mm-hmm.
I get a sense a lot of that in the US, it's just people who could get vaccinated and don't want to be for some reason. So
Let's not. I don't want to get into that. It's too complicated, and it's basically just. Yeah, I'm leaving it at that. I'm
I mean,
I'm just leaving it at that.
it's complicated, but also like really not complicated at all, right? Like it's
Yeah,
kind of
but
like,
I kind of just don't want to talk about it. Anyways,
yeah,
how do you feel about this massacre? Probably great. This card's probably actually
yeah, I'm kind
great.
of into it. I almost want to main deck the dispute.
Yeah, I think that's probably better than misdirection, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we don't stand glass here. I am partial to this art, but um, you know, just OG all the time. Unless if there's a reason not to OG.
How do you feel about some of these Time Spiral remastered old arts of new cards? So like the Liliana's Triumph, for example.
Leona's Triumph. I think it's exactly okay, but not great.
Yeah, it's it's almost like part of the appeal of the old frame is that it does seem washed, right? Not in
Right.
the sense that we both are, but in like the color sense. Um, whereas it's almost like the new ones are too glossy for their own good or too refined.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of issues. Also, did you see I opened a foil remand yesterday?
I did.
That is a card I do not actually want to own. So if anyone's actually interested in buying it, we can arrange something. But it is very nice to look at. I the Shining Star foiling I think is my favorite. How about you?
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I think it's probably because it's such a throwback to us. Because the first time you saw that, you're like, "Oh, it's great, Wizards of the Coast, that Shining Star or the Shooting Star." Whereas I think if you told Zoomers that, they're like, "What are you talking about?" It's never been like that.
We have a Nosman in the chat who I know is big on the Paradigm Shift, Thassa's Oracle, Thought Lash kind of deck. So
Oh,
always fun to witness those. Danny did ask me, why is this deck better than that shell? And I don't really have a good answer for that, but I guess it's just for the memes at this point.
yeah. I don't know. I think Paradigm Shift is better when you can rely on it not just as a one of plan. If I had to guess, I mean, I've never played this exact deck list, obviously, because it's ludicrous for me to claim that. But I also just don't play a lot of Doomsday or that style of deck in general. Um, you know,
I do think Paradigm Shift is really unexplored as a strategy. I think
right.
there's a lot of merit to that, but it's kind of tough to know where to start.
So we're talking about this. Yeah, this seems heinous. I'm actually just gonna axe it. I don't even have to play a game with it to know that.
What's
Misdirection has not aged well as a card in Legacy or even Vintage. Really, it's more defensive on Vintage because whenever you misdirect an Ancestral, you actually get really far ahead instead of not. But I'm not a big fan of the card. I'm trying to think. I think the last time I literally registered Misdirection in this format, there were 4 Miss Holograph in my deck, so it was kind of whatever. And Force of Negation hadn't been printed yet. What else can we play?
Well, I sent you a much too long list of
Yeah,
potential candidates for this deck, so I can go and check some of those out.
yeah.
Um,
I'll relook real quick. A lot of these are bad or already in our main deck.
wow. Okay, Jarvis.
Well, I said or, so you don't know which
Yes.
category it falls in. See, I'm leaving myself the out.
Why not both? We have a lot of bad cards already in our main deck, so um,
So my intuition is I kind of like the like cards like Plague Engineer, Opposition Agent, Toxic Deluge, and Massacre. I'm probably never cutting from this sideboard. I'm less high on the Brazen Borrower, if that makes sense.
yeah, I think it's a good catch-all, but that it feels like a kind of safe thing where you have no idea what you're meant to include instead. Um,
Right.
I think yeah, did we want the drown? Oh, we have drown. Okay,
Yeah.
someone mentioned that in the chat there. I like having a few more kind of threat support in, like Sedgemoor Witch maybe as an option.
How bad is Personal Tutor? I hate that card even in the dedicated Doomsday deck, so my answer is going to be I hate it here too.
Yeah, Shark Typhoon I think is not a card that scales well into
No,
Legacy.
it's well. I mean, certain people would disagree with you, and then I would tell those people I think they're wrong. So I agree with you. That's. I'm not
Just
going to
gonna,
name any names as who that might be.
I'm just gonna snitch tag Anurag right now just to
Whoa, whoa! I did not say
bubble.
that. You have no proof, and I, in fact, literally did not say that. So I kind of like Tassiger, honestly. Like,
I like it.
um, see what else?
What are we trying to Pithing Needle?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he had it there. On not Anurag, Menguchi had it there, but it seems not very good, honestly.
if we have Blue Blast, do we also want Hydro Blast?
I don't know.
kind of feel the
And
answer is
and
yes.
the other thing is, how bad is Chalice of the Void for us? Because it's kind of weird. I wonder if Chalice is even that bad for us.
I think
It's still
kind of bad.
bad. It's still bad.
Yeah,
Yeah, never mind.
that's the kind of thing that the borrower does help with to some extent.
But why don't we
Uh,
just play engineered explosives?
sure, I'm
Like,
down.
I think this card in general is super underrated, but so few decks can play it, is the
Yeah,
actual reality of it. But it seems like this deck can definitely play it, is my suspicion.
that's fair. How do you feel about the Divining Witch?
It's probably a good card to side in, but it's also kind of like a 2 mana 1/1 that has to untap.
Yeah, I think it's probably better as a sideboard card.
I mean, I don't mind cutting something for it. I just don't know what I would cut. Maybe. How did you feel about this card?
I think it's okay actually. I
Okay.
kind of like having it. Um, I almost want the Deluge in the main deck, or just more removal in general.
All right. Let's just count numbers. So, for those of you at home, I think the correct way to view these decks is to just group cards and just try to look at it as a normal 60 card deck. Then you'll get a lot further instead of trying to parse individual cards. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure.
There are 3 removal spells. That seems like not very many. So I could be down for a deluge. That would put it to 4. And I really think me watching the historic version, they played a lot more removal spells, but then again, the format's very different. Well,
I
also
think
the deck just doesn't exist anymore, so
yeah, it was weird because initially the list had a bunch of removal, and then for the
I
league
know.
week, if you know it's going to be at least
Yeah.
50%, then like you can't really do that anymore. Um,
Instead, they inbred to win blue mirrors essentially,
yeah,
because I mean, at its core, this is a blue deck, really. Even in historic, it's just if you want to hedge for these mirrors, you could cut all of the removal and just play like a bunch of like cards that are good in blue mirrors, like probably Dispel or Narset. Kind of funny that Narset is just played in every format where like the format's not so creature heavy because it's just so warping in blue mirrors.
yeah. For Legacy, the scariest blue deck at the moment is Delver, where you need removal there anyway to
Yeah,
stay to stay afloat.
I
So
I don't really like this card versus most Delver decks, and I especially don't like starting it because it's so
I agree.
easy for them to ignore it and have it do almost nothing. There are
Yeah,
games where it would actually cold them, but I think those games are the games where they like kept it threat weight hand, and they have no disruption, and you can stabilize your mana base, which is a lot to ask. I think
mm,
generally, I don't like starting it, but I also don't like siding it in versus Delver either. I think in these decks, if you go long and you can drag the game out, you can probably beat them with like Cavern Thassa's Oracle or something like that.
yeah.
How about this Queen to Dust?
I kind of like it. Just solid card in general. Good against Uro. I think Reanimator won one of the challenges this weekend,
Yeah,
or is seeing a bit of an uptick, so don't mind it there. I do wonder for the graveyard hate in the sideboard if a ley line is better than one of the 3 artifacts.
just Demise.
Yeah,
I
I
don't hate
just like
that.
those matchups.
Also, it's really embracing the spirit of this format if you do that,
Absolutely.
right?
And maximum tilt equity too, if you get someone with the 1 ley
Oh
line.
yeah.
And they know it has to be a singleton too, because of the way the deck's constructed.
Well, they might not know it if we never cast Tainted Pact.
Sure. I mean, at the point where we're casting a sleight of hand, something is up.
Look, I'll have you know that GP Philadelphia 2005, there are multiple sleight of hands in that GP top 8 of Legacy.
Okay,
Now,
Grandpa. Let's get you home.
this might be because Ponder or Pyridine weren't printed at that point, but that's besides the point.
Speaking of which, what are the worst cantrips that we actually still want in the deck?
I kind of want to cut this Portent personally, or the
Yes.
Serum Visions. One of those two screams, "Please cut me."
My list had a mental note and thought scour, but I had more stuff that keyed off the graveyard.
Mhm.
More Delve threads. I had a Dark Blast, which I think is kind of hot. But
So the
yeah,
issue I have with Dark Blast is I think it's really good if you know your Delver opponent's literally just Young Pyromancer, Sprite Dragon all the way up the curve. But not all of the decks are built that way. I mean, I guess the most common deck is built that way, but there's still a subsection of decks where the Dark Blast is. Well, if you don't get to Dark Blast, they're unflipped Delver, then it's not going to get to hit anything. So I'm kind of
Yeah.
off of it for that reason. My suspicion is Serum Visions is worse than Portent.
I think both kind of suck, honestly. Uh,
Yeah, but I mean, how many cantrips do you want to go down to?
I think that's a fine number.
But especially if I'm playing Seagate Stormcaller, I don't really want to shave more, you know?
That's fair. I was kind of into him to Torok.
Right? I could him. Can't cut. How about this Dark Confidant card?
I was gonna say it feels like it has a lot of these same weaknesses as Divining
Yeah.
Witch, but not as much upside. Um, I don't hate boarding it in against like a slow blue deck or a combo deck, but
Right.
I think you're already decently positioned there anyway.
Yeah.
And I just want my deck to
Impulse.
be as lean against Delver as I can.
Yeah. I mean, we are pretty lean. It's just these are not great. This is like sometimes a huge liability actually in the matchup, but I think you have to play it.
Yeah.
Um, it's unfortunate we can't sneak in more snowlands. Otherwise, I would suggest just playing Dead of Winter instead, but it doesn't work. It really
I
doesn't work.
I would love to have Dead of Winter, but it's not going to do it, I think.
Yeah, the problem, for those of you who don't know, Tainted Pact really cares about card names, so you can't play multiple snow-covered lands. In fact, that's why we can only play one island, one swamp, one snow-covered island, one snow-covered swamp, and the rest are just singleton, whatever lands.
It would be really awkward if we still had Astrolabe, where like you really want to be able to support that card, but sometimes you draw the wrong basic island or whatever.
I don't think this deck could play Astrolabe on average, actually, is my suspicion. I mean, you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 for a turn one thing with this current mana base. That feels like not enough, but I could be wrong. What is the Snow Salt Marsh? Ice Tunnel from Kaldheim, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. That one occasionally shows up in Pauper. I do not think that card's particularly good, and I especially do not like it when people put it in their historic decks, because I also think it was not very good.
Yeah, it was weird there. There was
Oh,
you
it's Ice
needed
Tunnel and Frost Marsh, but Frost Marsh is not searchable.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird there because you kind of wanted the basic land types for like the castles and Drowned
Oh,
Catacombs and so
sure.
on.
Sure.
We could also just splash a color. Like that is an option, but I
Yeah,
don't know if that
so in Historic, I think that's definitely correct. In this format, the worry is Wasteland, I think, actually. Um,
yeah, I mean we're gonna be kind of bad against Wasteland regardless, but there's no reason to lean into that even harder.
right, I think, I mean, you could play like a Zagoth Triumph and start putting like Bayous and Tropicals in your deck and shit like that. And I think the problem is, if you want to do that, you should actually play more lands to try to stabilize your mana base. Then you get into flooding issues with playing so many like air cards, and I'm really just not about it. I think is the too long didn't read of that story.
Yeah. Pattern negation being suggested in the chat.
So I did fire up this deck for some ladder matches on Arena at some point before it got banned. And my impression was I didn't really play it like a combo deck. I just like sat there until my opponent gave me a window, then I killed them. So in those games, Pact of Negation I think is not very good. And I'm
I
looking
think
at it and it feels the same way here.
I think it's more for like against Delver, let's say, where you can't really control their board anymore, and you just have to go for it. And having a way to punch through one piece of interaction is pretty nice at that point. But
I
um,
mean, we have a lot of like counters. I mean, I the card I could see cutting for it is actually Spell Pierce.
yeah, maybe.
Kind of
I
just
suppose this
hate
is
it. I mean, it's
this is kind of
like
against like Chalice and stuff, Blood Moon.
yeah, and that's the problem with Pact of Negation. You can't use it proactively because it's literally just costs way too much mana to pay its upkeep, you know?
Yeah,
So I think that's a complicated way of saying this looks fine, but obviously we might regret some slight decisions at some point because that's the nature of the beast, right?
or just all of our life choices that led us to this moment.
Maybe. Well, I don't know. Did you see the message I sent you about playing Burn in a lunch league? Which
Yes.
I sped run in under an hour, essentially.
At least that one, the mistake doesn't last for too long if it ends up being a
I
mistake.
actually don't even think it was a mistake. I played three really good matchups and two horrific matchups, but you and Ari claimed the horrific matchups didn't exist anymore. Except I forgot leagues are noise anyways, so you know, my opponent was just like throwing discovery. I'm like, great, I'm dead. That matchup still was
I
quite bad.
I'd be worried about, do we have enough answers to Ethereal Forager?
We have
It's like I'm not counting stuff like Bloodchief's Thirst because that's unreliable in the face of days, and then like Drown is not going to be an answer. Illuminate doesn't hit it. Push doesn't hit it.
So do you think I'm supposed to play like one Dismember or something? Dismember costing life is so awkward though.
Yeah, like Dismember or Snuff Out potentially.
Well, Snuff Out has the same like
Yeah,
4 life is so much to pay, right?
it is. But you just lose on the spot if you can't answer that card. Maybe that's why Triumph is good if you can like kill the other stuff and then tag that. But
Am I supposed to start it then?
or Brazen Burrow actually, like you bounce it once and then even if they
So
cast it again, you can threaten to trade.
I'm
I don't
thinking
hate
about
that.
it.
It's also just a good catch-all against stuff like Dark Depths or who knows what.
All right. I don't think I'm gonna main deck this answer, but I'll put the borrower back in my sideboard.
Okay. The fans are clamoring for gameplay, Jarvis.
When you say fans, you mean one Grumpy Lyserg?
Are there non-grumpy Lysergs?
Yeah, I saw him non-grumpy once.
A cheeky little grin worked its way out.
I'm not sure if it was a cheeky little grin, but he wasn't grumpy at the time. What am I cutting for this borrower? I might have this Dispel. I kind of hate it, but
Okay, yeah, that can go. All right, let's fire her up.
well, I have to get the cards. Remember?
Oh god, is that going to be harder when it's
No,
one of everything?
no. It. I mean, bots don't care. You know.
And this is card holder, so it's not like mana traders where you just get just a completely random assortment of arts and frames, and
Correct.
at least you don't have the issue of you try and get four of a card and you get like two of one frame and art and then two of another, which always tilts me.
you know, this is resolvable if you want to um, switch services, as the kids say.
Hashtag sponsored.
I am. I am. And I don't know, that is actually why I build the decks manually, which sounds ridiculous, but I'm an art purist. And I think you can appreciate that.
I'm an art snob more than a purist.
Really? What's the best Temple Garden then?
Oh, it's easily original Ravnica, and
Okay.
then the RTR one is acceptable, I guess, and then the Guilds one is just horrific.
You have strong opinions on this, don't you? All right.
I do. I was actually kind of surprised when I put that poll out on Twitter, just asking people to rank the arts, about how close people seem to think it was.
They thought it was close.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who were like, "Oh, I like all of them, but I like this one the most." And I'm over here grouching in my corner about, give me original Ravnica or give me death.
Well, fortunately, no one actually wants you to die, so we'll give you original Ravnica instead. Oh, what the hell? I exported it and it claimed it was 59 cards.
Oh God.
Oh my god, this is what happened. Try fixing it. I don't know what happened. Clear deck list, yes. Import. No, it still has 59. What is the card? Oh, I really don't want to figure this out. You know what? I'm not going to. I'm just going to let CBL let it ride. If someone figures out what the card actually is, you can tell me, then I'll try to fix it. But this is like Second Forager? There's only one Forager in my deck.
Got him.
Oh, it might be Pathway, I guess. That would actually make sense, right?
What would you say is the worst original Shockland art, or the one where you think the gap between that one and the rest is closest?
Great question. Let me think about that one sec. I think it's probably Blood Crypt for me. I think that one's like close because all of the Blood Crypts look the same.
Yeah, I think they all look pretty good as well.
Oh, you think they all look pretty good? Oh, all of the Blood Crypts, I see.
Yeah.
Is it Spellseeker?
Let's
Hold on.
look for those markings.
No, it's not Spellseeker. Is it Pathway? It's not Pathway.
No, it says we have everything, doesn't it?
No, we have everything, but the deck file on Cardboard Alive doesn't. It's missing one card. I'm off it. It's fine. Let's just go get a match. It's fine. Someone will figure it out. And if someone wants to tell me, well, they can tell me, and that's the end of that. It's Limdol's vault, of course.
Oh, yeah. How could it be?
Okay, never mind. That actually makes complete sense. God damn it.
Yeah, Limdol's vault is what leads to those like Zalgo text corruption style situations.
Thank you, whoever figured it out. No, it's not Limdol's vault. No, there was already one in there. Someone tricked me. Alright, whatever, I'm off it. If someone figures it out, I'll fix it, but otherwise, we're just going to a match. Weiser tricked me! Goddamn toxic mods, you know? This person was last seen playing Azoria Standstill? This sounds like everything I hate in Magic, actually.
Probably a decent matchup for us, though, right?
Well, not with this hand.
I mean, not if we can't cast spells, but...
Right, this is fine.
Oh, the nuts.
This is the nuts?
Yeah. Can't lose. So now the question is, I think we want all the spells. Do we put back Island or Sunken Hollow?
I want to put back Island.
Yeah. Especially on the play, there's nothing we really want to dispute early. I mean, we don't want to brainstorm on one, so...
The jig is up. If you've played a lot of Legacy lately, you know what this means.
Yes.
There's so few decks that do this.
It's a Doomsday deck, and it's also, you know, a lot of other things.
I'm just firing this.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh. Okay, I don't hate that. And that was the advantage of bottoming Island, actually. Because now we can go Thoughtseize Therapy. And if we draw land, we'll have Thoughtseize Therapy Dispute back up, which is kind of nice. Is it a mirror?
What deck could this be? Maybe like...
Oh, Peer into the Abyss Storm.
Huh.
Okay.
Well, this hand is fucked up against a deck like that.
Well, it depends on what they take. Alright, they took the hymn. Makes sense. That was an excellent draw, actually.
Yeah.
Alright, I believe the answer is to take Peer into the Abyss and Therapy their Night's Whisper.
Agreed.
Should I brainstorm in between is the real question. Probably not.
No, I'd rather
save the brainstorm for one turn and get more info. Right?
And hold dispute.
Yeah.
Just because I think let's say they draw if they draw brainstorm, I think it would be worth disputing probably.
Right. Oh gosh, I forgot it like duplicates. Right.
I hate that.
So we have the better Night's Whisper, so we're winning in the hearts of the chat, right?
We might want to. I guess the counter argument is we kind of want to find a creature to flash back the therapy now.
Yeah.
But let's just take our turn.
Yep. Nice. I'm gonna just cast Brainstorm and see what's up.
Yep. heaters.
Are they? I
From
mean,
start to finish. No, not really. I guess how good is this days going to be?
not very. I want to put it back in the cavern.
Yeah, I guess
And then,
eventually Karen could help versus like a against their pact or
so
something.
my plan is to hope to see a pile of 5 that contains both Tainted Pact and Thassa's Oracle.
Okay.
Which means you should put these back, play your land, say go, crack your fetch, then cast Wimdall's Vault.
Well, also if depending on how it works out, if we just put an oracle to the bottom and a pact at the top, we can just go for it then, right?
There's 2 packs,
Oh,
2
two,
oracles in our
two
deck,
oracles, yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. So that's an issue.
I think this is supposed to be on blue because I have Muddle in my hand.
Yeah. Yeah, we never really need triple black, especially now that we don't have him.
So our opponent's hand is these 2. Oh, they played it out so they can cast Pact of Negation, of course. But I think I just fetch up Underground Sea and cast Wimdall's Vault.
Agreed.
Now, it's been a while since I've resolved this card at MTGO.
So we don't know if it works the
on.
same or if it works correctly.
Is that just good enough?
I'm kind of into that.
I kind of like. So the other thing is, I just don't want to like spend 1,000 years figuring out if there's a better configuration. This seems good enough to me, so I'm gonna just keep it. Is that crazy?
Oh, I'm in.
So I have to click no, right?
Can we undo this and break Magic Online?
Please, please, no. Let's not do that. Let's not intentionally do that. If I do it by accident, like whatever, you know. The missing card is Mystical Dispute. I have no fucking clue why. Oh, that's a. I appreciate the science, actually. I actually really do appreciate the science. I'm just slamming this. I get my spells back. Ones that do things. I'm not getting this Wimdall's Vault back. Wait. I guess it's fine. I probably should have gotten Brainstorm back instead, though. So, I think I just muddle this and hope they don't top deck, right? Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They can't even top deck, right?
Yeah, they would have to.
Okay.
Even if they brainstorm into the nuts, I think it wouldn't work. Yeah. So let's muddle.
That's nice. Then next turn, I think I just put like Hymn to Torok in my hand.
Yep.
And then like just end their career. And I knew this was here because Wimdall's Vault is not. It's not a modern era card, is how I would put it. If they top deck Fear, oh no, they would have Threshold. Yeah, they would have it, but I think you're supposed to take the risk, right, Sam?
Probably.
I mean, they have 1 turn, and we've already discarded 1 thing. Right.
Also, it can't be. Can it be like a backdoor out at that point? I guess they go 5 up to 8, so they could brainstorm into it potentially, but I think it's fine.
The muddle was never cut from the deck. It was just in the deck to begin with. If you're asking. By the way, Forager looked excellent there. I don't think the original list had Forager, or the original list I saw had Forager. But
I think Menguchi's update did have it, but
yeah, it's from Menguchi's deck. I cut Baleful Shreks because I don't think it actually does.
I mean, it's kind of nice with therapy and so on, but well, one issue with building this deck is it's so hard to do like the elephant method or whatever, or map out.
I don't bother.
Cards.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Oh, Butchie's Thirst. Correct. It should not be in my deck. All right, cool. See, everyone's helping out. We're using all parts of the Buffalo. Something.
Is Sedgemoor Witch actually better than something like, I don't know, Cling?
I think so. I think like a lot of the games we're going to play, both of us are going to discard each other to death, and then whoever has the first threat plus some disruption is going to win.
All right.
But so think of it. Do you remember playing Ant Mirrors? I guess you probably don't. But the king of the card in Ant Mirrors before Veil was printed was Dark Confidant.
Yeah.
For similar reasons.
Yeah, Sam asked about Nile Spellbomb, which may be like kind of a better version of what I want Kling to do. Just like powering down Cabal Ritual, guaranteed is pretty nice.
I don't think there are any Doomsday piles that actually win in this list because you have no cyclers. Like, you just cast Doomsday and hope you have time. I think it's essentially what
Yeah.
happens in this deck.
This is actually why I wanted at least the first mental note or thought scour, because you can set up a pile that goes scour yourself, draw unearth oracle for just 2 mana.
No, our opponent doesn't. The list I saw for this deck is just straight blue black and just plays 4 Peer into the Abyss. Yeah, Doomsday put Tainted Pact on top, find Thoracle win. So why would you even need the Thought Scour? I guess that costs a lot more mana, is the actual answer, right? Okay. Anyways, we are 100% in games played with this deck. This hand is very bad. And this hand's fine. I think I'm shipping the Strix.
Yeah.
Our friend's back. I just played this on one. I think I am gonna opt end step if they do nothing.
I agree.
Because like this just incentivizes me to burn all my spells, you know.
Yeah, it's like we don't really know what we want yet necessarily, but we just want good cards, right?
We want
Especially
any card. Like
baseball.
lands are good and like forces are good. I think if it's like something like Limdol's Vault, I probably just don't. You know.
Discard's good. Yeah.
Basically, most of our deck is good because we've taken out a lot of the removal spells.
So what does End of Turn Fluster suggest?
You mean Brainstorm?
Brainstorm, yeah.
Means I probably have to Flusterstorm this Duress.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like not to do this, but I think it's just wrong letting them see our hand.
There is a case for not doing it, because let's say you opt into a land and you want to keep the land, then that trades with the Flusterstorm, and then you get the extra card in your graveyard in advance. But no. Yeah, get rid of that.
So next turn, assuming nothing bad happens to me, I spell Seeker for Tainted Pact and hope to draw a land. Then I'll have Pact and Oracle in my hand, so that should be a win.
Is there a good free defensive card that we can spell Seeker for?
Daze is the only one, right?
I guess.
And that's not terribly exciting. That's just worse than getting the Pact, I think. I mean, the alternative line of play, which might be better, is just tap out for Forager, right?
If we're tapping out for something,
well.
So now what?
But the problem is I don't have the land, right?
No. So now maybe you spell Seeker for days. Or
I don't know, it's complicated now. Alright. I guess I'll get days. We could pass? Wait, hold on. Passing is better, actually, I think. Yeah.
So we pass, and then if they go for it, at least then we can threaten. I guess ideally it would be Flusterstorm. We don't have that, but now even just Spell Pierce, maybe, depending on how this goes.
Sag. Alright. This kind of sucks. This is like max punishment for playing this way, obviously, but I don't think I should cast anything. Right? Like, just casting things just gives them Storm, and they're just gonna Thoughtseize whatever I get off of that.
Let's confirm that, but
I don't have Misdirection in my deck.
Would be really nice here, but yeah, I think just have to let this resolve.
Well, it wouldn't be, because they would just take their worst card, right? You don't. It's not like you control the Misdirection.
Commandeer, jeez.
This is kind of a goofy matchup, I think. This is not what you would expect to play against all too often, you know? I kind of enjoy it, you know?
What do you think of this Peer into the Abyss Storm deck? Oh,
Remember,
okay. Well, we might not just be dead.
remember
That's
when I
good.
was talking about how Confidant's the king?
Yeah.
Here it is, being the king. What do I think of it? I don't know. It doesn't really excite me that much. I tried a list like that before. Did not seem great. Should I play
More
around
interests
days?
a thicker Dark Confidant here, right?
I guess playing around days is free.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how soon we're going to want to try Tassiga, if at all. And yeah, this feels pretty free.
Ball ritual.
No,
They're
it's
accumulating
dangerous.
resources, which is not great. Kind of hope their hand's just like three Dark Confidants and a Cabal Ritual and nothing.
The thing is, 7 is so much mana. I guess now they're going for it, then
Well,
that
the problem
sucks.
is that if they don't go for it, I'll just put a Fluster or
Yeah,
something into
they
my
have to.
hand.
Yeah. Oh, no Thresh? Okay, so they're solving for. Is this a solve for Peer?
Thoughtseize. Okay,
Or
that's
Seeds?
fine. This is absolutely fine.
Yeah, they kind of have to do this,
Right.
but I think this leaves us in a very good spot.
Kind of hoping they low key take my Oracle. Then you
I
see,
do
do you
that
see what
too.
happens, right?
Or we just unearth it, yeah. But
Well, we attack, put Tainted Pact in our hand, play Unearth, respond with the trigger on the
so they
stack with Tainted Pact.
so they kind of have to take. Are they just kind of in Zugzwang?
No, because if we don't draw a land, it doesn't work, right?
Right, right.
So yeah, that was their conclusion as
Yeah,
well.
they can't even take Spellseeker because then we just unearth that and it's a discount. So
So the question is, do I want to do that, or do I want to put Fluster in my hand, right?
let's say we can we Spellseeker for something and have 2 layers of protection up?
I can Spellseeker for exactly days.
Is that worth it, I wonder?
They have 3 cards. You know what? I kind of
And
think Pact of
it's
Negation is their only defense. So I think I'm
did
going to just try to kill them.
did we board in surgical extraction?
We did.
Is there a good surgical target? 'Cause if we know about the ritual, is there an argument for that? We get back Fluster, we Spellseeker for surgical, take the ritual, and then
But no, my counterpoint is I think they probably don't have Forcible in their deck. So I think just trying to kill them makes a lot of sense.
I mean I don't hate it.
Yeah, I'm going to just try to kill them. I think I talked myself into doing that. There's a lot of like if you're scared, you could play it safe. I kind of think we probably just win no matter what, but I didn't come here to be a coward. This is not a coward stream, Dom.
We can block warriors in this channel.
See, I didn't even have to go through all of the clicking. Yeah, also the conclusion is if they had force, they would have forced this, so they had very few turns to draw a force of will, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because how could you not force this unless if you literally have the kill lined up? I do not. They had. I thought about Days, but it's just such a hard sell to put Days into your pure into the abyss deck. You know.
Well, they hit unearth Nosman because taking any of the creatures is just much worse. Like it just plays into our hands. So
Right.
I mean, I guess you could take Tasker, but that card doesn't do anything. So I don't think that tells you much information by itself.
By the way, deck is unbeatable. We're literally 100% games played. We're geniuses, Dom. That's the actual conclusion. Right? Not right?
Oh no, you're right.
Okay, cool. Merfolk God Spoiled? You know, I have to take a look at this. Where can I find it?
You can find it on Mythic Spoiler, where it's in Chinese, but I think we can.
I can probably suss it
That's
out.
fine. Yeah.
I have to sort by date, right? Oh, also, there's a preliminary translation. 1 blue, blue, 3/4. If you control 2 other Merfolks, it has indestructible. When it attacks, draw a card. Other merfolk have Ward 1. That's not the most inspiring card. It's kind of just like generically good on rate,
Yeah.
right?
I don't know how that even compares to the other 3-mana merfolk in Modern. Because you have like Reedery, you have,
Right.
if you're in blue green, you have Kumena, whatever the other one is, Kopala as well.
I think this is an easy mulligan. Like, this is, I think, just a trap hand.
Thank you, Professor. I, yeah, this is tough. Where like in the dark, we don't know what to put back. But I think this player, I recognize the name, so I don't know if it's worth goldfishing.
I think I'm just going to put Unearth back, personally. I think they're usually like blue X Delver or mid
Okay,
range style decks, so. And the other part of this equation is I have to play this tapped. This does not interact particularly well with that. Right. Well, that's not a wasteland. That's a good draw. But I don't think I want to cast it yet. Blue side probably because of wasteland.
it's yeah, I think so.
It's kind of awkward either way, but like whatever. Just oh, our mana's probably safer if this is the lens they're playing. Actually,
Yeah, our hand gets a lot worse, but our mana gets a lot safer. So
I'm casting brainstorm. I think these removal spells are so likely to be bad. That was not the best, but it's fine. That's how I would put it.
yeah,
Deluge can go and push on, or push below Deluge, play the land, say go and see what happens, I think.
yeah.
Because I really don't want to draw that Deluge. But on the other hand, I might just sit a turn and play Seagate Stormcaller Opt next turn.
Don't hate that.
Oh, this is the fucking nonsense, like, true hero deck. Did you know that this deck cannot beat Food Chain? It just can't.
Yeah, that does not surprise me.
Because, like, what actually happens is both of you are blue decks, but then they eventually run out of counterspells and then they die. I suspect the same thing should happen here as long as we don't get wasted out, you know?
Yeah, this should be a good matchup, but our hand kind of sucks.
Well, also when you say should, remember there's a lot of variance inherent in our deck. Uh-oh, and this is like... Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? Bet you've never seen that one. They should have wasted the Drowned Catacomb, I think. You like that?
Oh, they do have Wasteland. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they should have.
I don't want to play that now. I think I just want to play Spellseeker.
But what?
Just probably card draw spell. Night's Whisper, probably.
Okay. Yeah, I'm in.
I don't know. I didn't really work it out that far, except like I look at my hand and it's just really clunky. So you just have to cast your spells, I think.
Is there a case for like Cabal Therapy or something?
If I was doing that, I would rather get him. But also, I kind of just want to try to kill them instead because I think they're probably an Uro deck. And the result of
Yes. Yeah.
if you try to like attrition them and they're an Uro deck, it actually ends really poorly for you, I think.
Yeah, it just never works.
Yeah. So if you try to develop your own plan, what will happen is they might have Uro, but you might just kill them instead, you know? That's bad. It's a loam for a wasteland.
Oh shit. Yeah,
I don't like
Maybe,
this.
actually, were we maybe meant to get Cling to Dust?
I don't think so, but obviously here it looks not great. Don't you always want packed? But what if we also need setup? I don't know, like maybe I could have gotten packed, but the problem is I still have to find the other piece, right?
I mean, you have Stormcaller, right? So you can get Oracle and then go down to only a few cards.
Yeah, I guess maybe I was supposed to do that. Problem is, well, this can get a swamp. This is my second basic, so actually we can break out of that at least, which is kind of nice. Should I just Stormcaller Thoughtseize on them? Is that likely to be good enough?
I doubt it is. But what are
So
we saving the Stormcaller for otherwise?
any cantrip, right? Like I could just go like Seagate Stormcaller, any one drop cantrip, and it would be decent. Alternatively, I could wait to draw the pack and just go Seagate Stormcaller, Tainted Pact, right? And get the pact in Oracle and say go.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so I think that's probably what has to happen. Drawing the basic was actually good there, I think, though. I feel like if we're gonna, like, die, like, yeah, this shit. Well, I don't know. The problem is they haven't actually used any forces yet, right? There's a lot of problems this game, Dom. Huh. God, my brain is breaking again. Do I just Thoughtseize and play Limdol's Vault?
I think so.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably right, but also likely to break my brain no matter what I do.
Yeah, I think we're just dead regardless, probably. But
Well, we'll see. Okay,
yeah,
they do have two forces. I have to take one, I think. I'll just cast this and see if they force it. Oh, they didn't force it? Is this good enough?
what's the plan? Because they're just going to make Uro every turn
Yeah.
until like we have to try and kill them somehow.
So I could draw Duress and set up Tainted Pact afterwards with Seagate Stormcaller. So I think I actually am meant to keep this,
Yes.
right? And probably what should be underneath that is Drown in the Log just in case if something goes weird.
Yep. Our sideboard is pretty nice for this matchup, so that's good.
I accidentally clicked undo, but it didn't break it, it looked like. I think this deck is an adventure in like I don't know. It's complicated, right? Rhymewood Falls? I have questions, Tom. Do you have questions?
Uh, it's I don't know, man. True Hero does some wild stuff.
It is technically vegetable, that is true.
I mean, that seems reasonable-ish.
Alright, so we know their hands. Growth Spiral, Caracas, Wasteland Force. Alright. So I think I want to sandbag this land because of Wasteland, and I just want to cast Eliminate on their turn. They'll probably force it, but that's fine. That's like kind of a win for me, right? Because basically the goal is to get all of the forces out of their hand and not much else matters. I assume you agree with that.
Yeah.
But this is a fine use of an Eliminate, obviously. Right, yeah. I don't think they should actually counter it either. I think that's just like a huge spew. Especially when they can just pay for mana to get it back literally this turn. Did we talk about how stupid Uro is? Ever?
Many, many times. Yeah.
You think we made a big mistake? We bought him a Thassa's Oracle? How's that a big mistake? Oh, I could have made the literal bottom of the library. That's
Oh, did
true.
we not do that? Oh, well, that's
Oh.
unfortunate.
Oh, Limgo's
Unless,
vote also shuffles, actually.
hold on,
Never mind. No,
is
it actually does shuffle.
oh, it does. Okay, so you can't
No,
actually.
no, no, Sam's wrong, but I forgive Sam because no one knows what this card actually does, except for Paulo that one time he played it.
Yeah, that is a good trick to if you can get an oracle towards the bottom of your deck. But not with that, unfortunately.
Well, and their hand does literally one thing. So let me do it right. Cast this. So the first one. No.
So the first one needs to get oracle, right? And then
Right.
the second one, it would be good if there was some decent interactive card as like the second bottommost card or
It's
something.
going to depend on what has been exiled, right? That's the actual problem with trying to figure it out.
The other thing too is we're gonna get wasted, and so
Yeah. I'm going to have
that
exactly 4 mana.
and it's gonna be you're not gonna have blue left over either,
I
is
know.
the thing.
I know. So it
So
probably has to be like a discard spell if we can afford it. Where is that Oracle? This is kind of unpleasant, actually. All right, there's the Oracle. So I guess I put that into my hand, and then now I resolve the second one and just look for something good. Forger, no. Doomsday, no. Oracle, no. What Chief's Thirst, no. Maybe him does it, but their
so
hands
so
can be
hold on.
padded.
Okay, if we take the him, then we have 4 cards left, correct?
Am I meant to go to one card and just hope that? Because I know they have a plow.
Yeah. So let's say we take this him. We would draw down to 3 cards. We play the oracle, and then
They
yeah,
plow the Oracle,
the face
so
up swords would get through that. So yeah, I think we have to
yeah.
say no. Oh,
Cabal
third.
Therapy. Okay, yes, I want to put that one in my hand.
Wait, 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 wait.
I have 2 cards in my
Okay,
deck now. It's
okay.
fine. This
That's
actually,
actually that
yeah.
might be good.
My blue devotion will be 2 effectively because I know they have a plow because they can just plow it with the trigger on. But now the goal is to just Cabal Therapy naming Force of Will, and then flashback to therapy naming like plow or whatever. So it backfires, I think, if they draw exactly Force of Will and Force of Negation, right?
Yeah. One issue is with their deck, there's a decent amount of ways that they can set up like force on top with Jace and then have like a collateral or something to draw into it at instant speed.
I mean, I
We
could just therapy growth spiral,
yeah. Well,
but the
it's
problem is that loses to 2 forces. Also, actually, the plow doesn't matter anymore, right? Because I only have 2 cards left in my deck.
you need one of the 3 creatures to be there when the trigger resolves,
Right,
basically. So
that's fine.
um
but they're panic shuffling, so I think this is fine. I feel okay about our spot essentially. I wonder what's left in my deck. If I were smart enough, I would actually know. So they've used 3 plows. I mean, I think I should just therapy naming Force of Will, right? From a math standpoint.
So, oh, they cast two plows.
Yeah, they don't have any plows left in their hand, probably.
Yeah, I think it has to be force. Yeah.
Our cavern got exiled to Tainted Pact, yes. It was like early in the pacting. Well, I mean, if they have it, they have it. I'm not going to worry about it, right?
Please hold. No,
Fuck! Was I
God
supposed to
damn.
therapy growth spiral? It feels wrong, right?
It it could be spiral or ice fang though, right? And they've already gone through at least one spiral, so
That was sad. I think we played that pretty well despite getting Uroed, you know?
yeah, we gave ourselves a good shot. Like our hand sucked, and we were almost able to close it out.
They brainstormed last, yeah. They knew it was there, so that's like
All right,
whatever.
so Thassa, yes.
Let's pull out all of these terrible cards. I think Eliminate's pretty bad too, personally. Both Chief's Thirst not great. Fine, this is good. This is fine. This is actually less good than people think it is, but it's still good.
Maybe Nile Spellbomb or Soulguide Lantern are okay. Oh, and Opposition Agent. We definitely want that.
What should I cut?
I don't know about Tasker actually.
Okay. Oh, they
Like
have Caracas as well.
deck,
Yeah, yeah.
you can find it pretty consistently.
Yeah, these are appealing because they showed us Loam too.
Yeah.
I kind of am low on Spell Pierce in the matchup personally, but it's kind of okay, but it's also like kind of not.
Yeah, okay.
This is actually viable. I think it's mostly Dom was like, let's do this on Wednesday. I'm like, okay, sure.
How it went was, Jarvis, when is the Tainted Pact meme stream? And you were like, well, if you really want to, you can come on Wednesday. And I was like, yay!
Yeah, that was actually our literal conversation.
I get to hang out with
Kane.
my friend Big Job.
Big Char.
I don't know, whatever.
We are 1-0, Kane, but obviously I think it's exactly tier like 3.5 or whatever 3. I don't know. Like I think if you want to win, you should play Dover, but you know, I would always say that pretty much. Um, Buzzard Storm's not that good versus them, honestly.
We
Like,
could cut like, one of the bad cantrips, maybe.
I want to keep the cantrips. I think I'm gonna cut Fluster Storm. As crazy as that sounds.
Okay.
I could also see cutting Days, but
Yeah, I'm not actually all about days.
yeah.
Let's get that out of there.
If you want to play Delver, I think the next best deck is probably Elves, to be fair. Elves with a plan for Ethereal Forager, because I think folding to that card is like kind of unacceptable. But
Yeah, I've seen lists that have a Crow Harpooner to Zenith 4 and maybe some Runner Fowls.
ugh. I guess I keep, but I need to look for lands, I think, is the actual reality.
Yeah.
The ideal ponder would be like Tainted Pact, land, something else.
I guess we could Inquisition now, because especially against stuff like a possible Veil,
Do you want to get
Or
swamped then?
I want to get C because
But the problem
don't have
is, if you do
right.
that and you get your C wasted, then it ends up really awkward, right?
It does, but then like having to use Sunken Ruins to filter for blue and then that can get wasted. I think it's that classic dilemma of playing around Wasteland doesn't actually play around Wasteland.
Right. We'll try it your way. I don't know for sure.
Oh jeez.
We can never therapy these brainstorms, so.
No. I mean we kind of can, right? Because if they waste our C, then we make them at least spend a force of will if we draw a black source. But
Alright. I guess
no,
I'll play for that and see what they do. But I feel like us tanking is going to induce the wasteland every time there as well. Alright. You smart. You smart. Yep. You were correct. We got our 2-for-1 anyways. Alright. Well, that's not nothing. I think I should just filter for blue-black.
yeah. So these are good, but where there's this looming threat of lone wasteland that
I
we have to
know,
do.
but I think you just have to keep these and try to see if you can power through it.
I agree. Yeah.
In which case, I'm going to want to draw all of these, I think, is the reality. But I want to draw the pathway within the next turn cycle, so I think this is fine.
Yeah. Also, depending on how long it takes them, if we get to Pact end step and then untap an Oracle, we can actually get through the first wasteland activation potentially.
Oh, I want the pact next turn?
Yes.
Did I mess it up? I can slight into
I
the
don't
pact
know.
at least, so. Does this Titan matter? But taking the loam kind of does nothing as well.
No, I think you're meant to take loan because if they're brainstorming to
Oh, I
protect that
see.
up,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, you're right. I see what you're saying. Now, oh, well, they. Okay.
Like we're gonna get waste locked out of the game before the point where they get to 6 with Titan. So
So I'm
yeah,
supposed to play this slight into the pact then.
yes.
So their hand is Strand, Wasteland, these two. So it should be in the clear, right? Oh, what the fuck?
You have to do it now, right?
Yeah. I don't know what I'm looking for, but I have to go deeper in my library than this, right?
You just have to go down to 1. I'm pretty sure.
All right.
I mean, Sam makes a good point that now they know what they're brainstorming for. But I think if there's any chance they have like Flusterstorm or something in their deck, then I don't think you can afford to wait.
Yeah. Wait, did I mess it up?
No, you're good. You're good.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So you say yes.
No, I messed it up.
No!
What the fuck? It said 1. Oh. Sorry, chat. I don't know how to play this
game
card.
too. Jeez.
Okay, whatever. Good beats, right? I mean, this is like the kind of mistake you make exactly once, right?
Also, if yeah, jeez. Well, they had a wasteland, right?
No,
In there.
they were gonna waste us.
Okay, at least we know how the interface works.
Oh, chat. Oh god. Well, if you like this stream for punts like that, there's always following and subbing. That's all I'm gonna say after that. Is that a moto bug? No, I think it's just me not knowing how it's implemented in MTGO, but
Yeah, I mean there is a gray area there, like with the collected company interface, where
right.
it's not a bug; it's working as they intended. But how they intended it is just baffling. Yeah.
It was easy for me to get confused, but that's okay. It's a bug. Oh, we're playing against JDOM. Is this your secret account that you queued into me so you can concede?
No comment.
No comment.
It's so I can ghost you while I'm playing against you. The ultimate flex.
Sam has a good point. The card should have been in exile while we were thinking about it, so that's why I got confused. But apparently that's not how it's implemented. I think this is like a reluctant keep, if I had to guess.
Yeah. We have 3 different wizards in our hand.
We do. Unfortunately, this isn't a wizard. I have a feeling any deck that goes like this is probably not a good matchup for us.
Esper Vial might be okay.
How about not drawing a black source that turn?
That wasn't good. We're gonna Cavern on Bird just to get to resolve our strikes.
I think that's probably wrong. I probably should just name wizard and play this JVP, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, this person also always plays stuff with breakfast, so he might be dead. That's cool.
Oh, we are very well set up against Cabal Therapy. Forcible, you fool! We only have one of those.
I don't know. I am having fun, even though I don't think this deck is the best.
Remotely playable. But okay, so now
I think I just wanted to uncounter full JVP and the next turn, like, do some stuff.
I agree. You could try and therapy for illusionist or something, but it uses our mana so poorly is the problem.
I think if they have illusionist, they should just cast it there.
It's tough for them, right? If
Oh, I guess versus a basic island, it could be literally anything.
your island means forcible, which is what they therapied, and if that's the case, you would just take it slow, right? You would violin nomads, then violin illusionist if you had both already.
Right.
So just fade this turn, and then we might be in a decent spot.
Agreed.
It is nice actually that Kling. I don't know what the stock breakfast list, if there even is one, but does Kling just beat them straight up?
It makes it hard for them, yeah, but I'm just hoping they don't have it.
Then
Yeah.
they can potentially short combo into like therapy Narcomoeba and then take it in advance. Okay.
Well, there's the Shuko. Name forceful again, which indicates strength to me, unfortunately. But sad. Looks like I'm dead. Oh no! Do they only have?
Oh, no, it still could be.
Right. Well, yeah. I want to make sure their kill is set up correctly. But yeah, this would have been good.
This is a deck I learned the hard way. Pretty weak to play Engineer.
Yeah, I actually think this deck is not good, but you know.
Yeah, I like it. I just can't really endorse it.
I also like it, but I also do not think it's good. So
I'm signing up for a pre-Innistrad Legacy League that hopefully will fire, and I might just play breakfast in that.
Really getting your fill of pre-Innistrad Legacy, aren't you?
Or just like the wacky formats. Like I'm playing the Australian Highlander thing,
Sure.
like playing the set roulette for Mythic Society every month. Like honestly, that's what I enjoy most about
Right.
constructed Magic at the moment.
They have Grand Abolisher.
I think Innistrad is a dividing line because that brings
Delver Snapcaster.
Delver. Yeah, I mean Snapcast is kind of secondary there, right? But mostly Delver.
Right.
Oh, and Pass and Flames as well, which is like a really big pickup for Storm.
Oh yeah, Passing Flames is absurd. Alright. This looks good. This is good. This is good. Even like this is okay, actually.
Terminus is technically AVR. But
Yeah.
we want like Nile Spellbomb,
Yeah.
Soul Guide Legend, right?
And Tormod's Crypt.
Just to
Like,
make
I don't think their fair plan works that well versus us, to be fair.
no.
I don't think the spot removal was very good, actually. Like,
Certainly the sorcery speed removal sucks.
I kind of think this is not that good either, to be fair.
How do we feel about Force Negation actually? Because
I'm fine cutting it. I think it's
yeah,
like kind of garbage, actually. Um,
maybe once we have that much graveyard hate, like the Tormod Crypt is the worst of the bunch, but
sure.
I don't know. And Stormcaller's kind of slow.
Yeah, that's fair.
Also Massacre actually. I'm not really about the Massacre.
Okay. Uh, Probably bring Fatal Push back in then.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's good.
Well, so here's one thing. Fatal Push doesn't actually break up Illusionist being targeted by Nomads, but it does break it up being targeted by Shuko.
Well, it's there's not a way to get both of them on the battlefield at the same time. So one of those two pieces is always exposed in theory. Um,
What's up?
actually, Dateline, right?
Yeah, Wayland's probably better than like the Fatal Push actually.
Okay.
Cool. Yo, what's up, Jay Carter? Yeah, you missed me just milling myself by accident because it said one in the library, but then that actually turned out to be the card I put into my hand off Tainted Pact, and I was sad. But you know, I did not know how Nintendo handled that until now. So now I know. Uh,
Snap it off.
yeah, and they're going to 6. They're going to 5. Can't wait to get killed. They're going to 4. Can't wait to
Jeez.
get killed.
I mean, we have protection. I kind of want to therapy for brainstorm on one. I think it's either brainstorm or Stoneforge Mystic because we could, in theory, lose to like a Battle Skull plan with this hand.
But
And
you know what's better versus that? You just let them cast a Stoneforge in therapy the Bower Skull.
well, yeah, okay, that's
Yeah, so I'm overriding you and just playing this. Like, basically, when I play against Stoneforge decks as discard decks, I almost never took the Stoneforge. I would just let them do their thing and then, like, take the equipment because I found that worked so much better on average most of the time. Not great. Alright, I think I just go land go and see what they do. I think, like, casting this now would be something people would do, but I don't think it's even good to cast it now. I feel like if I cast it now, what actually would happen would be I would get veiled and it would be kind of disastrous.
that's fair. So are you thinking it does depend what happens this turn, but are you expecting to go for engineer?
The problem is I don't know if they've cited into true names because I know that's like a pretty common sideboard like what's there like a zigzag?
Yeah, like a pivot
Yeah.
transformation.
I think I'm gonna just play it and name Rogue because now I think with this draw, I think it's really safe to do that.
Okay. Yeah, and like between Spellbomb,
Right.
Surgical, Eliminate, we have any kind of combo covered.
Exactly. That's what I'm thinking.
And if they have a way to contest the engineer, then they kind of have to do that, I think.
Right.
They don't know what our plan is. Unless they're ghosting, in which case, hi, I suppose.
I just normally assume people don't ghost, but also if I'm playing a league, if they ghost me, like whatever, it's fine. This is also why I don't stream the bigger events because like, okay, they forced it. That's fine. We got our 2-for-1. That was basically a Cabal therapy or him to Torok. Streaming big events is gas. Yeah, I don't know. I think you think that. I've had really negative experiences, Kane, but so they are getting Stoneforge. I could surgical them, but I kind of think I should just let them Stoneforge
Yeah, I agree.
and just save this like at a more convenient juncture. Because I think what is going to happen is they're going to Stoneforge for Barrow Skull and hope it's good enough, right? I'm gonna just therapy their equipment. Jite?
Okay.
That's a weird one to get, actually, but
Yeah, Kane, that was absurd. I was just like Kane's opponent had perfect information because of ghosting, and then somehow used that as a means of self-sabotage.
that's insane. How does it even happen? You're supposed to make better decisions if you're ghosting. All right, they had the skull in hand. I kind of wanted to name
Ghosting,
skull, but
ghosting already a somewhat questionable decision. Now though, we can.
I'm just doing
Yeah, we could
this.
do this. We could also unearth and then just fast therapy, but I think this is better for sure.
This is, I think, this is the way I don't know. I guess cast Ethereal Forager next turn and get far ahead. The spell whale, chat.
Oh, this turn is going to be incredible because we get to
We get
unearth.
we get it all right.
Yeah, we get to unearth, engineer, and then forage.
My name Wizard.
Yeah.
Always check the types. This is nice. That's really gas, Kane. That is gas. I can't. I actually cannot believe that that happened. Like to be fair, but whatever. All right, nice. It only took our opponent mulling to 4, and we like got them real good with all of our spells, right?
Oh, that's the kicker, Kane. Is without the BM GG in advance, we still would have been still would have lost, but they just gave us all the tools we needed.
All right. Do you think I'm supposed to change anything?
Mm.
Probably not, right?
I
Like,
mean, I don't mind having push just as another out Stoneforge.
I think day's also worse on the draw,
And
given
that,
how we're
hold
constructed.
on a second. Isn't push just like better than eliminate against their setup? They could have Teferi Time Raveler, I suppose.
Teferi
But
was my main thought, but I also
okay.
don't know. But I think I just want both. Is the actual reality?
Yeah.
Probably just leave it like this.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Self-inflicted kill count of the night 1, and I hope it doesn't go higher than 1. What's the old adage? When someone casts Doomsday, someone is dead, but it might not be your opponent. Have you ever had that experience? You've cast Doomsday, but you found out that you actually killed yourself.
Oh, definitely. I playing that Doomsday Storm deck I mentioned, I think I've told this anecdote before, but I had both the Citadel. I revealed Doomsday and I was like, oh, this is going to be sweet. Cast a Doomsday, put the Tendrils as the bottom card down, put the Tendrils on the stack, and then I lost the game, and then realized I was at full life, and then just, I literally found the only possible losing line in the turn.
I think you told me this story before, actually,
Yeah.
which is kind of funny.
Jarvis, we have Twin.
Do we? Is Twin
Peak
peak
Therapy.
plus Cabal Therapy? Alright, I just had to check which definition of Twin you were using.
Twin is more of a vibe, Jarvis. It's more of an art than a science.
Is this like some British thing? Because you and Callum love using the word twin situation so much. It must be a British thing.
I think if you go on Twitter, you will find it is not just a British thing.
I'm pretty sure it's a British thing. So I think we're on the same wavelength. We're definitely casting Pecan Step, right?
Yes. I mean, maybe if we need to find something, we go for Opt, but...
Why is it a Twitter thing? I'm mad. I'm actually molding right now that this is like
That's a
complete nonsense. I'm molding.
Please don't insult the website in this way, Jarvis.
The hell site. Where? All right. So I guess I have to therapy the Stoneforge. It's unfortunate, but
kind of have to, I think.
Yeah, I was working out what was going to happen.
Ooh, that's interesting. Do we? I guess we opt first.
Yeah, in case if I find a removal spell.
You find a push or something, then maybe it changes the question, or days. Dispute.
So I think that might be good in the future, and maybe I should keep it.
I agree. Yeah, because if that can tag true name, if they don't
right.
find land, even if they do, as long as we don't die to the combo, we actually have a decent setup to get them dead pretty quick here.
Yeah, the real question is, do I use this to fetch Watery Grave? Or should I just fetch Swamp?
I think it's unlikely you want to cast Muddle and Dispute in the same turn cycle.
So I think I should get Swamp, because I think the life total thing might come up.
Yes. That is the way you lose, as if, or one of the ways, as if like they go for true name and we can't combo for some reason, and we just get beat down.
So that's their hand.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that this game would be so much easier for us on the play, but because agents called their draw.
Yep. We have to fade a few draws, but that's okay. Like, Ugh. I don't know. This has been pretty good so far. They chose to shuffle. An excellent sign.
Just don't make white mana. Okay.
Or make white mana and just cast like a Mopey Stoneforge, right? So now I think I should just play this land and say go.
I think. Do we want to play Misty instead?
What's the reason to play Misty?
If we have to like emergency pact for some reason, and then
oh, I see. Okay, yeah, that's right then.
We could also. I don't know if there's a case for like just casting Jace and flashing therapy.
I don't really think so. Like, no. I just want to see what they're going to do this turn. All right. So, real question is, should I cast Tainted Pact first?
What's the plan if we do?
Yeah, I guess that's the issue, right? So should I just dispute this and just untap and go on my merry way?
Well, we could pact if we're building towards a combo. We
Yeah,
can pact for either the other pact or the first oracle, like whichever we hit first.
right.
Um,
It's kind of complicated, right? The thing is, I want to dispute this because I think I'm more likely to lose to combat damage than activate the combo, right?
would it be totally wild to just let this happen, play opposition agent, um, untap, and then like maybe transmute model or hold up dispute?
Doesn't that like not really? Oh, I guess they only have one white mana,
It yeah, it means it shuts off Stonefall doesn't out. I
but
guess no, it does.
yeah,
It shuts off Stonefall doesn't out, so it would have to be exactly nomads, which we know they don't have right now. Um, I
it
don't
it
hate.
it's kind of close because I think the issue is if they do draw nomads or say I guess Waterloo Tutor doesn't. Okay, I'll try it your way. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I
I just hope I draw Thassa's Oracle to end this nonsense, and then it would be easy.
there are a lot of good draws we can have here that kind of lock up the game or close to it.
So also depending on what I draw, and I didn't think about this, is maybe what I should do is just does that change anything?
Ooh, what does that do?
I think what that actually means is I should say go. Because I can just Snapcaster Pact the turn after if I just leave all my mana up. So like this turn would be packed with Muddle up. Next turn I would just Snap Pact and basically slow kill them. And
Okay,
their hand is so weak, and I get to leave up all my mana, and they can't threaten to kill me with damage that quickly, right?
yeah, we kind of have them snookered here, I think, because the worst thing that could happen would be like natural fourth land that can't be a fetch right away
Hmm.
into nomads, but even in that case, we can like pact as an emergency to try and find something.
By the way, if they plow this, I'm just letting it go, I think. I don't think it actually matters. Do you agree with that?
I'm less sure about that. Okay, did you say that's fine?
Yeah, that does nothing almost. So the plan is to find Oracle, correct?
Yes.
I really like this card.
It is a sweet one for sure.
But I want to put first fill in my hand, no. Spell Seeker, no. Night's Whisper, no. Baleful Strix, no. Ponder, no. Island, no. Surgical, no. Spell Pierce, no. Inquisition, no. Stone, no. Duress, no. Preordained, no. John the Lock, no. Of the Void, no. Portent, no. This is so much more pleasant than the historic one. Holy moly. I will point that out. What if they're literally the bottom two cards?
Oh,
Alright.
okay.
It would have been funny if they were literally the bottom two cards and I just got to one shot them. Great.
Oh,
No. No thanks.
well, oh, hold on. So now if you attack, they're just going to swords, right? So I think we go to post combat and just faster therapy.
Oh, you just want therapy the plow?
Maybe not even therapy to plow, but just I don't know.
Why do I care if they plow?
You don't care if they plow, but you could care about something else. Like if they drew force of will, for example, then actually we're kind of in a weird spot. Although with that in mind, yeah, it's tricky. I guess does attacking accomplish anything? Are we ever winning this game via damage?
I don't know. Let's confuse them. Let's click
Maybe
buttons at random and
after
see if
stuff.
my balancing my range confuses them into doing something nonsensical. Is what I meant to say.
That's just GTO, Jarvis.
People really love using that term. It's kind of funny. Like they use it when they shouldn't.
Do we know if this list has days?
I don't think it does. So you want a therapy for force?
Or a therapy for something, I think.
Yes, that's good.
There's actually a case for Doomsday here as well, right? But
They do have
they,
days. That's kind of not great, actually.
that's a wrinkle.
Well, what happens if I just uh
Maybe we Doomsday. Like maybe that actually is the line.
so I go to 6. Can I kill my opponent with Doomsday next turn?
Yeah, you should be able to, especially with Oracle in hand. Although that there's a whole decision tree now branching out of that, right?
All right. What's the plan? So if I cast Doomsday, what cards do I even want to put? And let me make sure. I can only search my library and graveyard, so I can't get any of these, right?
Oh, that's another wrinkle. Okay, let's take a look. So what if we've milled the Cavern of Souls? Can't put that in the pile. Have we milled? We haven't milled the second Oracle by definition. Okay. What we can do is, uh, we could put a pile. No, we can't because we don't have any. We only have fetches, right? We don't have any more lands in the equation, so
Right.
that's. Hmm.
Also,
Is
I'm
that
taking. Hold on. I'm trying to see if I'm actually dead in a turn or two.
and we basically need to grind through. Like we can't Oracle with more than 0 cards because then we just lose the swords. So if we don't do anything here, if let's say they equip Jite and attack, so that's 4, and then next turn it's 4, and then they Jite can pump before. So it is 2-turn lethal basically.
Yeah.
Unless we. Well, what's interesting there is Snapcaster can threaten to block Illusionist, and that takes a turn off the clock. And if they swords it, then that gives us some life back. So that's okay.
All right. I think I'm gonna just say go and probably snap, opt, or peek to play around the days, which is unfortunate, but with the blocking plan in mind, essentially.
Can we naturally get down to fewer cards? It's not easy.
Not easy. Yeah, they have a daze in hand, which is the wrinkle. If they didn't have a daze in hand, it's just so easy. I just snap Tainted Pact end step and they kill them.
Do we have? Oh, the unearth is gone. Okay.
Yeah. I think I have to. I could.
God, drawing exactly days is so rough there. Um.
I was Doomsday Pass not good enough.
Well, what's the pile, Matt? Because we need to get down to enough cards that we can oracle um through their swords. We can't fetch any more lands, and uh I guess let's work out what is in our library, right?
Matt, that's not. I
That's
mean,
not a sensible.
that's not. I mean, maybe Doomsday shouldn't be in our deck, but the problem is when you build it like Tainted Pact Oracle, it's not necessarily always the case that Doomsday is lethal, especially since we Tainted Pacted so many cards away. That's not a legitimate. Yeah, exactly.
So we can work out which lands we do have left, right?
Right.
So let's what's exiled?
Right. Pathway,
So
Delta Strand, Cavern, Verdant, Watergrave, Vista,
so the snow
Island.
basics are still in there.
One Snow Swamp is
Snow
left,
swamp.
which is bad. Snow Swamp is bad, I think.
Yeah, that's rough. Do we have any more blue sources? Oh, the Sunken Hollow, right? And maybe Sunken Ruins. Are they gone?
We have one Pact left in our deck. But the problem is, if you just put Pact on top, suppose you put Pact, for other bricks, and you just go Pact Oracle, they just daze the Oracle, right?
No, it's fine because you packed for one of the lands. Like, let's say you put the land as the last card.
I
You packed for that
see.
and
Okay.
then you cast it. Yeah, so that should be okay then.
Alright. I guess I cast this then. I guess now I get to see if I am actually correct that there's still Snow Swamp left in the deck.
Yeah, the other line that Jay kind of mentions is Snap Pact, eat the days, and then transmute for the other Tainted Pact.
Don't they kill us with the GTA damage? That's we worked out. We're not allowed to do that, right? You take 4, then
Not,
8.
not in this scenario, right? Because we take
Oh, I
three.
because we would get to block,
Yeah,
right? Oh, I see. I don't know. Yeah, I guess maybe that's better. It's so complicated. Oh, they
days.
daze us?
Well, now, well, we know everything, right? Or is
Yeah.
that known?
No, their hand is C Plow Oracle.
Yes. In which case,
I think I just pay and kill
pay
them.
and pay and
Yeah.
hope to fade. Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it was always going to come down to fading. So what do I want to get?
I guess Plague Engineer. You're working that into the pile is. So we want the pact. We know that. I guess the second Oracle, just why not? And then does it?
Hold on. What happens if I cycle 3 cantrips? Oh no, it doesn't do anything.
No.
Right.
So you need a pact. You need a land. That's the only requirements. And then past that, it's a 1 turn clock. It's a 2 turn clock regardless. So, I guess engineer because there's a chance that if they don't equip for whatever reason, we can just play engineer and then go from there. So yeah, pact from library, oracle, engineer, land, and then is maybe him as a 5th card. Does that do anything, or just another land?
just another land I think is better, but I think it kind of doesn't matter as long as we have the pact. So like this.
Yeah.
I'm tired of thinking, but done. So I put the land on the bottom, right?
Sam, I think the one thing that could mess us up is if they draw therapy, maybe. If they do that, they don't get to equip, though. So it should be land on bottom, and
Yep.
then do we want the Oracle as
Yeah, the work was the second last card, I think. And
then Hollow,
yeah,
and then Engineer, and then Pact on top?
yeah.
Okay.
All right. Someone's going to be dead soon. Land, Oracle, land.
Oh, it's so bottom to top is what he's saying.
I don't know. Like, obviously, we could lose if they draw Cabal Therapy, but like, whatever. I'm not sure we could have beaten everything. Fingers crossed. Yeah. What did I put on bottom? Sunken Ruins or the other one? Damn, I can't even remember. I have the memory of a goldfish. I don't lose the therapy?
Well, so the issue is
Don't they have
no, they
plow?
have swords.
Yeah.
So what does it mean? I guess there's no reason for them to equip, right? Also, they think.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna cast the pact and see what happens.
agreed. We don't actually beat force, but so no, no, no,
Oh,
yes,
yes.
and hope. No, because they have 3 mana open, and we know they have a blue card. Okay,
Yes! Oh, yeah.
that was more stressful than.
What the
Oh,
problem? Oh, okay. Okay, so I think let's talk a little bit about that match. I think if this was a normal 60 card deck, resolving the Doomsday is actually a lot easier because you don't have to track all the singletons that are gone from your deck.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So really what's going on here is it's a lot more legwork to figure out what's actually left in your deck, you know? And it's fine. That's what we signed up for, right? It's literally what we signed up for playing this deck.
Yeah.
After that, I think I'm gonna get some water for a few minutes because my throat's killing me. Also, the cicadas are really loud here. I think you did hear them earlier. It's kind of crazy how loud they are here. Well, yeah, let's take a few minutes and we'll be back for round 4 and 5 in a second. Also, if you want to support the stream and you're new here, you can always follow. That's free to do. And Twitch Prime subs are definitely appreciated as well as regular subs. And I'm gonna get some more water and we'll be right back. Alright. I am back. Are you back? Perhaps not. Alright, chat. What did I miss? Yeah, we're 2-1. Our list is a little bit different from yours, Ethan. But I lost round 2 to like a 4-color or a 3-color like Bant Loam Growth Spiral deck, which I think is kind of an anomaly, but I did kill myself by accident in game 2 by packing down to 0 cards at end step when I was supposed to pack down to 1. So I basically thought that the card was exiled. Like, basically, the index was off by 1. Um, and then I learned how Tainted Pact actually works on MTG, which is fine, you know. That shit happens sometimes.
Okay.
So like about that wide, which is what we have now.
Yeah.
But a little bit like that one might work actually.
Sure.
You want to get a couple of those?
We could, like, in the worst case, just turn one on its side.
Then you can't use the drawer.
Yeah.
But I think that one will fit. I'm gonna double check the measurements, but I think that IQ one, it just has a really large overhang, right? So it's not even like the drawer's that big. It's just it's got like a long surface. We don't need that long.
Yeah.
I think this might fit.
Okay.
I'll keep looking, but like
Yeah. Sounds good.
We heard the conversation. Furniture conversation, Dom. Yeah, chat appreciated it, obviously. Alright.
Yeah, the thing about the Tainted Pact indexing is if it's the first game you're playing and you're casting what you think is meant to be a lethal pact, it's not like you get to stop and check, right? You just have to kind of go for it and hope that it's good enough.
Anyways, we got a prediction up. If you want to gamble your worthwhile channel points to do things with, you can. Will we win this match? Who can say? I don't know. It's actually just a coin flip, you know? Literally just a 50-50, right?
That's how it works.
Oh, we're playing against possible elves?
That should be good for us, I think. Really hard to say.
Hard to say. Well, certainly not this hand. Certainly not this hand either. I think you jinxed it, Tom. These hands are actually unkeepable.
The nice thing is that most of our hands are going to have bad cards we get to put back, like this Mystical Dispute, for example.
I think I should just bottom the hymn, actually, as crazy as that sounds.
It does sound a little crazy.
So, the way I'm viewing it is, I think I'd rather just, like, try to kill them than try to grind. And so I'd rather just Strix looking for my combo pieces.
Do we actually want the days? Bearing in mind that, so bad against Allosaur, Shepherd.
It's bad, but the other problem is, like, I think we're going to need to interact, like, twice this game based on our hand. And I think just him is worse than all of the other cards. It's like him, in my mind, it's him or Strix.
Okay. I mean, Strix is, like, it's so inefficient, right? Like 2 mana just to draw a card, whereas him can sometimes just cold that draw.
Alright, fair enough. Right, and let's just hope it works out. Like, it's unlikely to, but you know, you can hope, right?
Did we have the Submerge in our sideboard?
No.
Oh, was there a chance we were meant to daze that once upon a time?
I was thinking about it for a second, and then the reason I don't want to is I want to be able to cast him if I draw a land.
I kind of like dazing there.
I don't.
Oh, this is
okay.
Maverick.
Yeah. I think you just have to push that no matter what, because it's literally a lightning rod from removal.
Yeah.
Whoops. I have to let it resolve before I do that, but I think we would rather play against elves than this deck, to be fair.
Yeah, Ethan, we just kind of put a list together. I could definitely see having the Witch in the 75 somewhere.
The rest seems not good. Question is, do I want to redraw any of these? Now maybe I can just ship the days? guess the question is, what is my plan, right? What would your plan be?
Spam caller.
Okay.
I think I kind of want to put back duress, eliminate, and then hope we get to day something.
All right.
Follow up with him.
Got it. Yeah, I think that's good. I put the eliminate on top just in case, but I don't think there's really a world where I want to redraw that because I think A, drawing land's better. B, there's a lot of other better draws. Maybe there's just white-green depths, which is lower on Wasteland. Possible.
Yeah, Mother of Runes usually is not depths.
You can still put it in the deck, like nothing
you
actually
can,
stops
and
you.
I have in the past, but okay, dazing that one. Get that out of there.
I'm gonna fetch the Watery Grave.
Yep.
It's because I don't want to draw it. And then we have to hope their hand is like bad afterwards.
I wonder if they think we're Shadow at this point.
All of the cards we've played are in Shadow decks, yes. Oh, Wasteland and Plow? Oh, I like getting the Wasteland. The Plow is like kind of irrelevant, I think.
Yeah.
But you'll take your 2-for-1s where you get them, right? It's fine. Okay. Do I really want to snap push this?
I don't think so, right?
I think what I want to do is just play a land Seiko and opt, and then if I hit a land, then I can like.
Well, if we opt, we might find like a Thoughtseize or something, right? So we should opt now if that's our plan. Oh well.
I guess that's like just good enough, right? Actually, is it? Wait, do I really want to be doing this?
I kind of don't think you do. No, I think you just want to find combo stuff.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. That's nice.
Alright, I think I draw the Oracle and shuffle everything else away.
Yeah.
I can leave the Catacomb underneath just in case if they waste me.
Sure, because then we could fetch a swamp and then have basic blue, basic black, and then a dual land. That seems fine.
Exactly. It's just a hedge, just in case if something goes south. Or something goes pear-shaped, as your people say.
Yes. In the old country.
The first time I ever heard that phrase, I'm just like, that's an interesting phrase. Do you think they'll attack? Alright, now the question is, do I want that land? The answer is probably not.
If our plan is to snap Brainstorm, then I guess we're already going through at least one dead card then, just to get our shuffle effect. So we probably just sacrifice it, yeah.
Well, am I snap brainstorming? Because the flip side is, if I draw the dead card, it is actually my 4th mana source to snap brainstorm, and then also have draw Tainted Pact as an insta kill, right?
Well, I depending on what we draw, if it's just a spell, it could easily be better than some Snapcaster line. So I think we sacrifice, yeah.
Right. I'm gonna fetch Island. I'm pretty sure that's correct because your deck is basically super blue heavy.
We need double blue on the kill turn and we've used our him, so okay, that's good.
So am I meant to just say go then?
I think so, yeah. Because there is conceivably stuff we would want to drown.
Right. If this was like any cantrip, I would just fire it off, obviously. But this is a reactive card inherently, so.
So if they do something we don't care about, are we snap opting? Are we snap brainstorming? What's the plan?
I think I'm going to snap opt because if it's a bad card, I want to shuffle it away.
Okay.
I mean, obviously you're sacrificing a little bit power by doing this, but I think that's fine.
There's also, yeah, I think this is better than Snap Ponder taking down the drown on the lock.
Yeah, like what if they just played like a Knight of the Reliquary or some
Right,
shit, right? Like it's just there's so many things that are bad for you that
So peak is it doesn't get us any deeper, it's just spending a card to see their hand, which I don't think really matters.
no. I think I'm supposed to bottom.
Yeah. Okay,
Oh,
so
we
now
can spend a card to see their hand again.
Well, this is better
Okay,
now,
well,
'cause
I think I
it's-
just thought these in Limdol's Vault.
Yeah.
And basically, what am I supposed to do?
Let's think about the scariest thing they could Zenith for. So Teague doesn't do anything. It could be.
It could be Excavator, but then that's a turn off from wasting us, but that's still annoying.
But yeah, if we let them have Night, then that's also just Wasteland threatening that. So I guess Zenith is a shuffle effect immediately that Night isn't.
Yeah. So
but if the plan, I mean, are we drowning Zenith if they cast it?
Well, I'm drowning the Knight if they cast it, I think.
Yes.
So I think I should just take the Zenith then for that reason.
Well, if they break on a land, then they can't actually Zenith 4 Knight, if that was the plan anyway, like all things being equal.
So do you want to take Knight then? Oh, yeah, actually, then probably I should take Knight and just if they Zenith for 2, just be like, okay, whatever, and cast Limdol's Vault, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. I kind of wondered if we would be better off with the 4th Mana Source still. I'm not sure. Alright, so I guess I'm drowning this Zenith for 3 now. Because I think they're casting it, right?
Looks that way.
Oh, there's Zenithing for 2?
Zenith for 2.
I do not believe I care for that. Care about that, rather.
Yeah. Yeah, this is fine.
You can't Zenith for Thalia. It literally cannot happen.
Yeah, you get in these awkward spots sometimes where against some of the combo decks, there literally is not a good Zenith target. Like against Omni, for example. Ooh,
That's
Scrim
cute.
Ranger.
They think we're like a control deck, I think. Which, I mean, this is a very weird looking control deck. Alright.
But that has Water Grave for some reason. Yeah.
Yes, I want to pay life. That is garbage.
So are we just looking for Pact?
I think so.
Yeah. We're very likely to find a Pact before the point where the life loss from Vault would matter, I think. But yeah, so send those away. Actually, we can just do the maths on that, right? Oh, do we? No, we don't want. No.
Okay, well.
Okay.
So what happens if I just take the land this turn instead of playing the Pact? Because that's worse versus Wasteland. So I'm supposed to take a Pact this turn, right?
Yes.
Right.
And we don't want Duress. We don't want Force. I guess
I'll just put both of the Pacts on top.
Yeah.
And we're still at 10, so it's relatively safe.
So this is a spot where we could pack now, and if the bottom, if there's like a blue land on bottom, we can win right away. But I think holding up. Oh, maybe this was bad because yeah, we should have put the land on top, I think. Because let's say we pass now, or sorry, the land beneath this pact, because if they drown, if they play something we need to drown, then we want to be able to untap, draw that land, and then just go Pact Oracle.
I
right?
can't think of anything we would actually need to drown this spot from their deck. But I guess you're right. But I'm just gonna say go and see what they do.
I'm just thinking if there's some like discard effect they have main deck for some reason, or
pretty unlikely because like Thalia decks typically don't play discard.
Yeah, we should be good to go, I think.
Yeah, this is like irrelevant.
Fine.
That's really the nice thing. Like, the way this deck is constructed, Green Sun Zenith is not that bad for you. Which is kind of funny thing to think about. Whereas, like, if we were playing Ant, we would actually have been colded multiple times by now.
Yeah.
We would actually be Lou Dobbs. So.
Playing this deck, it makes me think, what if we just did play a Paradigm Shift Thassa's Oracle deck where you get to play like 4 of each piece and 4 Force and 4 Brainstorm? Like this.
Well, if you want to build that at some point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try it.
So I have to go to 2 cards, right? We determined that's how I have to do this?
So it's when you have 2 cards left in your deck and it's prompting you.
I have to click yes.
Yes, correct.
I will still say this is a lot more pleasant than the way I played it on the ladder, on the arena ladder, which is like super unpleasant.
Where you, like, if you have the nuts, you actually just can't kill them because the rope doesn't work.
I would very easily kill them here. So not yet. Not yet, right?
It's the next one. So no now, and yes.
Ooh, nice. Snow-covered swamp. They're not getting it next turn. And also, let's not assume our opponent's a heat.
Yeah. I love Thought Lash. I might just get a set of those to do some nonsense with. Unless they've spiked to like $100, which very easily could happen with any card from that era these days.
Mold to 5, win on turn 8 versus Sylvan Library. Then again, our opponent doesn't have a lot of interaction, so it's like their deck kind of is just trying to kill us, right?
Okay, so
this is good.
Ooh, Massacre. Yeah, playing Engineer.
This is like sketchy, but probably fine because it is good.
I mean, they're a Knight Zenith deck with a bunch of fetches. Like, I think it's solid.
Kind of think the discard is like weirdly not that good, if that makes sense.
I think that's fine. So like Duress is bad, don't want that. Flusterstorm, probably.
Flusterstorm not great.
Get those out of there.
This is like sort of okay, actually, right?
Dispute, probably Force Negation.
Choke postboard is one thing to consider.
Yeah.
I want Brazen Bower as a hedge for like weird, fringy, hateful permanents like Choke. You like Thought Lash?
Do a quick scan otherwise. Spell Pierce.
Oh, Spell Pierce is pretty awful too, yeah.
And then like Cling to Dust is not great, but it at least draws a card, so maybe something like Therapy is better than that. Or Liliana's Triumph even. Mm-hmm.
Like this versus this. This, I think, is just never going to work in this matchup. Like, what actually happens if you try to do that versus them is you'll get into a board stall, which doesn't favor you.
Yeah, they're so good at playing fair. Like, that is kind of the only thing.
I'm kind of looking at this, actually.
Explosives?
Well, yeah, Triumph is probably better, though.
No, actually, no, I think you're right. Explosives is good. I mean, it's not good. It's, acceptable.
Passable.
Do we? Maybe the answer is no.
Side out another discard spell for another removal spell, maybe?
Maybe the Therapy actually isn't too bad.
What do you want to cut?
Just the explosives, potentially.
It is a little bit of a clunker. The real reason I have this card here is because I hate losing to Chalice of the Void.
Yes.
I guess this is fine. Oh, Hold Breacher doesn't do anything. Never mind. Get that fuck.
Oh, correct. Yeah.
I mean, what it actually does is it counters target's own library, but you don't really want to do that, I think. So I put the Triumph in.
Maybe like Null Spellbomb or something isn't the worst, or
I don't like doing that. I'd rather just kill their stuff or discard spell them.
all right.
Like, it technically affects their Knight of the Reliquary, but what it actually does is it really doesn't do anything. Oh,
You have to send this back on the draw.
yeah. I like having a lot of lands, but I don't like not having any action.
I think this is okay. Like put back Clay. I mean, maybe just drawing a random card is fine. Or Triumph on the draw is kind of sus. Because it's so easy for them to have like a random hierarch or, a Mother of Runes that actually isn't doing anything, but still get to protect something by getting sacrificed.
I'm down to ship that. I don't think you're allowed to send any of the lands away because I think it's just too dangerous. Right. I think you just have to take the risk and get a Underground Sea.
Yep.
And, we never claimed this deck was good versus Wasteland,
Or against anything, to be honest.
Okay, this is okay. I think what I'm going to do is take Thalia and just let them Thoughtseize me. Unless if you think I should take the Thoughtseize and let them beat me up with the Thalia, but that seems worse.
I mean, it's 2 a turn at present, right? And so they're going to take Limdol's Vault, and then
we have Snap plus Cling. That way, I think that's pretty good for us, actually.
Yeah, I guess there's no immediate incentive to be casting Limdol's Vault anyway, right?
So I'm going to take Thalia. It's just, it represents a lot of damage, and it could get annoying if there's like a turn where we do want to spam spells, right?
This is obviously where they draw another Thalia, or, but I think this is probably right.
Well, you know what they say, you can't Thoughtseize the top of the deck. They literally do say that, by the way.
Would you describe Mill as Thoughtseizing the top of that deck? Doing some little deck damage?
You mean Ye Old Memory Lapse plus Thieves Guild Enforcer?
Mm-hmm. A Splinter Twin, if you will.
God, I hate that so much. And actually, the weird thing is I play into it every time and tell you how much I hate it every time, which means you're just going to continue to do it over and over.
Well, you would think, like you say, oh, I hate that, therefore stop doing it. And yet people take the exact opposite route.
It is kind of peculiar. I think I'm going to just play Island Opt and see if I draw Massacre. Oh, wait, I can't even cast Massacre.
Cast it yet.
Probably still right.
But we could still draw, I don't know. Would we even want to cast Bloodchief first or something like that? We would draw Ponder, right? Like that's the argument. Ooh, Jace is...
They have 2 lands? Probably supposed to keep this and just play a long game, right?
Yeah, I don't hate that.
See, we just have the best cube deck ever, Dom. I don't know what you're talking about. Our cube deck is so good because the cube creator put... Oh, that sucks.
So, Wasteland. So, yeah.
Because we do want to cycle. What I was about to say is this cube... Wait. Where did this come from? Did I know about this?
No, you opted and kept and drew the Jace, and then you drew a card from Cling. So, Cavanon...
What are the creature types of Thassa's Oracle? Wizard? Merfolk?
Oracle is Merfolk Wizard, yeah.
So I'm supposed to name Wizard, I think.
Is there an argument for Carrier in case you find Engineer? Probably not, right?
No, we'll find another land by then.
Yeah.
I think it's just way too likely we're going to need to use that on... we're going to need a second blue for Thassa's Oracle at some point, essentially.
Yeah. I like that Engineer and Cavern both give you the same interface for choosing a creature type. Where
it suggests things that are already in play, and you don't want to do that for Cavern, but for Plague Engineer, you do want to do that?
Well, for Cavern only cares what types you have, and Engineer only cares what types they have, so it's,
Fair. I remember when neither of those had that, suggested thing at the top, and I would just go manually hunting. I remember playing versus Reed in some like daily event, and I had an extra cavern, so I just named Rabbit.
Nice, nice.
It was literally like my 4th cavern of the game, and it was literally irrelevant, so I just decided to be a jokester.
My go-to usually is camel if it doesn't matter.
Oh, Camel's nice too, yeah.
There actually are some camels in MH2, I think.
Are there?
So someone looking out for me. I believe so. Zenith for 4?
Questing Beast, probably. It's always Questing Beast. Questing Beast is really good, by the way.
Oh, yeah. It actually is super awkward where Zenith shuffling itself back in means that they don't have 4 cards for us to drown it.
Can you actually name Spuzum Frost? Because I don't think that's actually a creature type anymore, right? Also, this hits for 5 per turn? That's so many damages.
And flipping our Jays, it can like hit that too. So I think we still have to do it is the awkward thing.
Well, we can plus on that to at least prevent some damage, right?
A little. Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's good. Do I just pitch this island?
Probably. So what's the plan for this turn? Do we want to Snapcaster? It could only be Snapcaster Cling, which is obviously
we can
bad,
snap up. We can snap up.
So what do we discard in that case?
I want to discard island, play swamp, and then tap this and that to cast a Snapcaster.
So you're discarding Thirst or Drown?
I'm discarding island.
But you can't. Oh, we have a cavern. Sure, yeah.
That's what I was saying the entire time. Remember how there was a long discussion about what creature type I should pick last turn?
Yes.
So the other play I could make that I didn't think through enough is I could actually just spend this turn killing one of these and the next turn killing that with that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's actually better.
I don't hate that. So you would hit presumably Noble Hierarch? Yeah.
Right. In which case I think probably I should have... No, I think discarding the land's still fine, right? I'm not sure. I guess it's like kind of whatever. That's fine. Well, it's not fine, but it is what it is. Thalia? That's actually fine. Well,
this is
no, this is
weird
fine
because
this is fine, right?
Well,
also, they attacked. Oh, they don't know. They don't know. Okay, chat. I'm gonna just say, always attack your opponent with questing beasts.
Also, did they know about our Snapcaster?
No.
Because this way they could have attacked Jace for a point with the Arbor as well if they just cracked the fence. But
hold on. It
no.
doesn't do anything.
So I think we still just want to
I plus on the Thalia, and
yeah.
I should just main phase the drown because what if they draw Caracas?
Right. Good call.
I played a lot against Maverick. Obviously, if they draw like, actually, choke is not even that bad. But let's not will things into existence that might not be there. Why did they fetch main phase?
After last turn, all bets are off. I'm not sure why anything really happened there.
I think what I'm supposed to do is actually engineer their Thalia and... Actually, what happens if I plus on the Thalia and just engineer their Dryad Arbor? Is that good?
Is that better than engineering the birds?
What does the birds do?
I mean, what does the Dryad Arbor do?
What? Wait, actually, none of their cards do anything. It's kind of funny, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think killing Thalia is nice just to make your Snapcaster a little more efficient.
I'm going to do this in case if they have Plow for my engineer next turn, I think is the reality.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we're in a good spot.
Did I mulligan this game again? I think I did, right? Yeah, we did. This kind of feels like Historic 2, in which, like, our opponent's creature deck, which is presumably, like, decent versus combo, isn't so good versus a combo deck that also, like, leans more into the mid-range role. Right?
Hmm. To be fair, they really have not done much of anything in either of these games, but that is the Savannah lifestyle for you, as I well know.
I've tried to get you to not register Savannah so many times, I feel like. You can't put that one on me. Horizon Canopy?
Oh, a redraw.
Whoa.
Well, this is also because, yeah, okay.
Well, now we have Snap Drown, so, like, it's really... Oh my lord! Alright, vote plus attack.
Yeah.
Because, I think we're more likely to win this game with damage than the combo.
Yeah, in when Mengucci did a video series with this deck, he won like more of his games just via damage, I think. Like
But
Brazen
no,
Borrower
let me get something totally fair. The way Mengucci plays, he's always more likely to win with damage than comboing because he's not a combo player at heart.
What do you think would happen if like we had plus the birds and attacked just to try and bait an attack that we could eat with Agent?
I don't think it would work, but
Okay.
I think I'm just gonna cast this. I think just doing anything else is not great. Please cast Zenith, please cast Zenith, please cast Zenith, please cast Zenith, please cast Zenith.
What would take them this long to figure out cost for? Oh, choke.
That's fine. It actually is fine, which is funny.
Yeah, this is fine.
I mean, it's not the easiest to get around, but
how did Oh, we discarded that island. Okay, that makes sense.
Could just I wonder what I'm supposed to do. Probably save my removal for real threats, right?
Yeah, I
just hit them for 5 repeatedly until they don't want to participate in this game.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do stuff for the sake of doing it. Just attack, hold up removal.
ABC cube, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is actually ABC cube. What is going on? Why is this happening? All right, I choose Scrubland.
Oh, that's nice too because
because it's another black source.
Well, also just the BM implications of taking Scrubland.
Oh, actually, I should have just looked at their deck while it happened.
Yeah. Oh well.
I was a little bit too excited that they would just crack their fetch into my opposition agent, which was literally on board. That was so wild.
Just same again, I think.
Oh, it looks like they're conceding. Flag.
The shame concede.
Chat 3-1. I'm so excited.
We're guaranteed a winning record, which not something you could often say with a deck.
Oh, why did they crack their fetch land into the opposition agent?
I have so many questions.
I mean, that's really the only question I have because the rest of it was pretty straightforward.
Hey. All right, are we going to fire up this final match?
Yeah, but we have to start a prediction. So we have to let the gamblers gamble for a few seconds before they see our opening hand, because that would just be providing too much information, I still can't believe they cracked the fetch into it. It's so insane. Alright, chat. We've discovered the new Tier 1 deck. Tainted Pact is a broken card. You heard it here first. And if you like this sort of thing, well, Dom also has a sweet podcast where I'm sure they ramble about nonsense like this all the time, don't they?
Oh, our nonsense this week is truly sublime. The best I've ever seen. So make sure you stick around for that.
It's funny because you showed me this nonsense, and I'm like, yeah, this is complete nonsense. And then someone today messaged me separately about that nonsense, which is actually not that unlikely, right? Because it's completely nonsensical if you browse the lists.
A fellow nonsense enthusiast?
The funny thing is my friend who messaged me that is like, yeah, I don't play Modern, but this deck makes me want to play Modern.
Oh yeah.
It is that type of nonsense. Not that we'll have this Modern for too much longer. I actually think, given all of the previews I've seen, there will be a huge seismic shift in the format.
Oh yeah. In what direction?
If you like old cards, there's plenty of old cards coming in, like Wonder, Goblin Bombardment is something I have a affinity
I
for.
love Goblin Bombardment. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like the Sack Goblins deck, I think might, the
I
Grumgully BS, like
right.
you
I
can do
wonder
that.
if Sam Black had a hand in that one because I know he was consulting on the set.
The weird thing is, I think Goblin Bombardment is like exactly the correct power level for this format, and so is
Yeah,
like Wonder and Seal of Removal. Those are all good prints, in my opinion.
yeah. Bombardment is one of those cards which I often think is in the format anyway. Like it just feels like it should be in Modern, right?
Right. Exactly. That's how it operates. Yeah, it's sweet. I don't know. Like there's
Yeah.
plenty of
Counterspell may actually be the most important one, just in terms of
Agreed.
making the blue deck so much better, which
Yep.
is kind of obnoxious in and of itself. But um,
Well, I have a bunch of Mercadian Masks Chinese counterspells and two fourth edition Chinese counterspells that I might sling some paper Jeskai control at some point. I don't really like playing Jeskai control in MTGO. I don't find it particularly enthusing, but I do like playing it IRL for some reason.
I love the masks counterspells and also the masked brainstorms. Like for some reason, both of those
Oh
two in
yeah.
masks just have the
Yeah.
best art.
What do I think about the Blue Evoker? It's a good card. It's not really as broken as Grief is, which is clearly like I don't really understand why Grief got to where it was, but let people have their fun for a bit, and if it actually turns out to be too powerful, then ban it. That's how Modern Horizons 1 worked, right?
I don't think grief is the kind of stuff that can get banned really.
No, but
I am glad that like there isn't. If you look at the top decks in Modern at the moment, there's nothing that obviously pushes any single one of them.
right.
Like Prowess doesn't really get anything, as far as I can tell, so far at least. And then Heliod, Sanctum Prelate maybe. But I think the stuff that gets boosted the most is stuff that isn't really prevalent at the moment, and that's good. I like that.
So interesting hand. Definitely keep. The question is, what do you plan to run? Probably just see go and hope they don't waste you. But
Yeah.
Again, this is the risk you take by playing this deck. Your mana, I think, is pretty bad because, like, by definition, it has to be bad.
Oh no.
Right. I'm hoping for Blue Green Omni and not Rug Delver.
Yeah, Omni probably is a fine matchup. Delver is the nightmare, right? As it is for most of the fun stuff in Legacy. What do you think the impact on Legacy is going to be from this set?
Well, at least they have stupid cards like that one in their deck.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Hold up. Are we building towards a doomsday here? Like, we have to be conscious of our black sources?
Technically, but what is actually going to happen is I'm not going to have Underground Sea in play soon.
Oh, Waystone.
Yeah. But it still is right to play this one, I think. Also, they can't cast anything currently. I'm just spell piercing this.
Oh yeah, snap.
I cannot spell pierce. Well, no, I'm not snapping it because I don't have snap in my hand. You know what kind of nonsense you were signing up for. This is why. Am I Wallace?
Oh, were we meant to crack for Watergrave?
No, I don't think so.
Like, we might end up having to do that anyway, and now it's just additional life.
I mean, I don't think I'm casting this Doomsday until I have at least 4 mana because of the days, first off.
Right.
So I think I'm just going to play Island Go.
I agree. So yeah, what do you think happens to Legacy with this set?
Oh, I cannot begin to fathom it. It's just, like, kind of complicated.
I think Grief in Hogak is pretty terrifying.
That's probably true. So now I guess this is the dilemma you were talking about, right? Going to fetch chalk. Why don't we just get swamp?
I think swamp is fine here. Yeah.
So I kind of think Legacy is immune to a lot of this because of just way the format is structurally set up. Like, you don't really want to play that many. Oh, that might be interesting later. Basically, I think the format can tolerate a lot of that nonsense better than Modern can, obviously. So this is their hand. I'm just dazing it.
Well. Do we want to daze or fluster? Actually, that might actually be a decision here, right? Because if let's say we daze, and then because we might want that daze for the next threat, like a nemesis or something.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think flustering is actually better.
Yeah.
If we draw a black source, then we can do the thing, which I think is absolutely correct here, you know? Alright, well, this is fine. We're not dying, I think is the key point of this, right?
Yeah. Another wasteland is still pretty awful for us, but yeah, we can just keep doing our thing. There.
This has looked really not good in the games we've played so far.
Yeah, it's nice against like Sprite Dragon, I suppose.
So I don't think I should daze this. I think I should just let them tap out for it, and if they tap out for it, then I can eliminate it.
I agree.
Okay, I guess I'm going to eliminate that one instead.
Do we eliminate or thirst that?
Oh, I see.
I kind of want to thirst it.
Okay. It's worse if I draw exactly a black source.
Change
my mind. I think there's enough black sources that I should do this.
Yeah.
If black source weren't such a good draw, then I wouldn't do this. But since it is, I am going to do it.
Or just other stuff that we might want to do on our turn. Oh, perfect. Okay. We can even daze through a force or something.
All right.
Nice. Okay.
I think the Cavern of Souls is 100% what I want here.
Yep.
The question is, what else do I get? This is the hard part.
Is it just Tainted Pact?
So you think like Cavern, Tainted Pact?
Cavern, Tainted Pact. We could work Forcible into that mix as well.
I guess the question is, am I slow drawing through this pile?
Well, let's see. So this Doomsday puts us to 8, right? And then we know they have a bolt. If they cast Bone Crusher, which presumably is the biggest thing they could have, basically they would need a second bolt and a red source, or because even if they draw, what could the bigger threat be? Like maybe Sprite Dragon gets weird. It feels like we should be able to, because if we put Pact as a top card, then that threatens an immediate kill. If Pact is on top, Cavern is on bottom.
Yeah. So what's the fail case? I guess is what we should think about, right?
Yeah. The fail case is, I guess, they can interact with our Pact. Maybe the answer, honestly, is just double Pact on top and then Cavern lower down.
Oh, that makes sense, because we'll draw a Pact. If they force it, then we can just redraw a Pact next turn and it should be fine.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't be dead because we have a daze.
And we could put so if it's 2 Pact and a Cavern, in between, I guess we could put like the second Oracle and like a Forcible maybe, in case it makes sense to play a slower game.
Yeah, I like that. I also didn't think about it that much, which is probably a spew, but also I think you will develop like your brain exploding if you try to think about it for too long.
Yeah. This is where it would be nice to have the Thought Scour for the like Unearth line, but
so I think Thassa's Oracle can be second.
Well, I want the Oracle as a third card because there's a chance that like we natural draw towards that and then just,
I
cast it if
see.
the bolt shield is down.
Like this, then.
Yeah.
This was not the slowest Doomsday, but we also didn't work out literally every iteration of what could happen.
I guess, okay, so they go for...
Bone Crusher, and then we don't care, and then we just try to kill them.
Yep. There is a case for dazing that, actually.
I don't think there is. What if they just draw Force of Will, and they're 2 blind draws?
Well, so in that case, because we're threatening Pact is lethal, so they have to force it, right? The issue is if they have... I mean, it should be fine, yeah. I guess if the 2 unknowns are double force, then we get got.
No. No. No.
No. Yes.
Yes. They didn't even wait for us to put it on the... Oh no, they saw us cast it. Never mind. It's just we got interrupted briefly. Oh, this
Okay.
deck is kind of sick, actually. In a weird sort of... Maybe we're drawing well? Like, we did mold a 5 and win that game. Or
that's the thing. It's like, what does it mean to draw well with a singleton deck? Right? It's just a weird, I mean,
like, we mold a 5 and won that game, which means something, right?
So, I do want explosives. I actually kind of like him. I
think this card actually sucks in the
yes.
matchup, personally.
I think, like, Doomsday, I think, sucks. I think Stormcaller... Just any of the really clunky stuff. I like Blue Blast. I kind of like... I mean, Triumph is a little loose against Pyromancer.
But... Young Pyromancer, right? So I actually do it. So the cutoff for this card versus me versus Rug is whether they show you Young Pyromancer or not, personally. I think it's really not very good if they don't have Young Pyromancer, and it's decent if they do.
We did see True Name that game as well. Right. I mean, Tasco is good. How do you feel about the Witch?
Not great, personally. I'm going to just side out Fawn, I think.
Yeah.
Because the problem with Fawn is you can't even use it to defend your combo. So really, Fawn's only good if you get to interact with their stuff, and usually you don't want to interact with their deck that way. This is sort of close, but it costs 4, so not really.
No.
This is like sort of close, but I think on average is not.
I kind of like it, I think. Like, obviously it's bad against exactly Pyromancer, but is Explosives just a kind of slightly clunky generic removal spell, or I guess it cleans up Pyromancer stuff?
Yeah, I could see cutting it, actually. That's what
so beyond that, I don't hate the Witch over Stormcaller, I think.
Alright, I can buy it.
And Hull Breacher as well. I mean,
I hate Hull Breacher in this matchup. I think it's actually not good.
Right. So these games are going to be tough, but we got 2 shots at it, so let's get it done.
The first game was lucky because I think their hand was incredibly weak. I think.
Maybe spells you got on the draw is sus.
I don't know. The real problem is, well, this hand's actually decent. I think,
yeah.
First off. I was gonna say the real problem with this matchup is, like, our curve is so high, I think, generally speaking, is the actual issue with the matchup.
Yeah, I mean,
and I was about to say our mana sucks, but this game, I think our mana's like act weirdly okay because we drew 3 of our 4 basics.
Yeah. When I was sketching out a list of this deck, I was making a lot of tough sacrifices with Delver in mind, just like a bunch of cheap removal, stuff like, Dark Blast, removal, which is kind of generally worse, but hits the Delver threats, And I think you have to do that to make it anywhere close to tenable. But
I think if they're really smart, they'll side and claw this versus us.
Yes.
And I think it would be extremely annoying, and I hope they don't do it.
I will say, there is a Modern Horizons 2 preview card that is yet to be shown, which will be, I will say, I think pretty substantial for Legacy, although I could be wrong about that.
Oh, I don't mind getting this dazed, even though I knew there was a reasonable chance.
Yeah, I think you kind of have to try that.
Getting to use your main mana there is so good, I think.
It's so hard for days to be bad against us in the long
Right,
term.
because I want to play this turn. So like if I don't daze there, if I don't get the daze to happen there,
especially with the Delver applying some kind of pressure, we don't have infinite time to
right.
zig and zag around that.
Nope, there's no time to zig or zag. Ooh. Okay. Well, I'm
so
firing.
I think we still want to attempt Strix.
If they daze it again, so be it. That's fine. Oh, why did I leave this in? This is actually heinous.
Yeah, it's not great. I mean, against like Iteration, it can be pretty good, or Stomp.
I think this card is just quite bad in this matchup, but whatever. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we get to trade. Ooh, no attacks. You love to see it. I don't really want to draw that one.
No.
But this is okay. We can sit here for a while. It's fine.
So that one is kind of interesting, right?
I think what I meant to do is just let it resolve and see if I get to untap to Plague Engineer with an extra land.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's actually the best line of play.
Not
right.
so much.
I'm going to cast this still. I think you have to. That's really bad.
Ugh.
That's unbelievably bad, and also not that likely. I think I'm going to discard...
Cling, probably?
Yeah, I think Cling's my worst card. I think the pre-spoilers for your podcast, right?
Yes.
Right, well, I'm going to do this. If they daze, so be it. Nice. I kind of feel like that means they don't have days.
Okay, so now, how do you feel about just going for Deluge? It's obviously worse against Force Negation, but we have a way to fight back, so they would need, like, double Force, basically, use all their cards.
So the counterpoint is, I kind of think I want to save this in case if they draw bigger threats later. And this is like holding off their stuff, so what you should actually do is play the engineer named Human and let them develop more stuff before casting this.
My issue there is I think if our Strix dies, then we actually are going to want to kill the Delver at some point, and then we're using another card in the process to do that. Whereas because the Strix is just a defensive measure, right?
Right.
Whereas I think if we play the Deluge now, then whatever their follow-up is, we have Engineer, Drown, Force, and then we have Jace kind of good to go as well.
All right. You've sold me. In which case,
makes cards like Lightning Bolt a lot worse, I think, this line.
And also I'm going to do it pre-combat, because in case if they do win a counter war, then...
Yeah.
Like, yes, you can attack to squeak in your 1 damage, but I think that's just not really what the game is about most of the time.
Yeah. And so I guess Iteration might actually be the card we don't want to see here. Yeah. What do you think?
I'm not doing it. I think what I want to do now is just cast my things and force them to spend cards instead of trying to fight this.
I think the fact that our blue cards are also good is a tiebreaker there. Like, Oracle is not good right now, but it means we threaten lethal lines with Pact. So that's kind of annoying.
Kind of awkward, yeah. Oh, excellent.
The nuts. So...
Yeah, I'm playing Jace, obviously.
Jarvis, it's just a dual land. It's great.
I know. It's Underground Sea that doesn't cost $400 or... No, the 400 is super low for that now, right?
Oh, it's spiked, yeah. I will confess, my initial interest in this deck was motivated by owning exactly 1C and thinking, what can I
What
do with
is
that?
going on?
Huh.
What? Okay.
Okay, resolved.
Sure. There's one. Okay. I don't understand what's going on anymore.
This deck is really good against Surgical, yeah.
Well, the card I don't want them to search goes Thassa's Oracle, but iconic pairing of surgical extraction and bad decisions. It is truly iconic. Underground Sea is $878 for a revised one. No, the reason to surgical is if you tag Thassa's Oracle, this deck becomes a lot worse.
I
think I'm gonna drown it actually.
Yeah, because if we let it resolve, then we're gonna want to hit the giant at some point anyway, probably. So you do want to fight now? Okay.
I think this is important enough.
Yep. And also, actually, like the Oracle is good if we draw Tainted Pact, right? But if we draw the Pact, then having the Jace flipped is pretty great.
The nuts.
Yes.
By which I'm not even being sarcastic. I think it actually.
No, it is. Yeah. Pitch Misty. We don't have like a Inquisition or anything to flashback, right? No. Okay, so just spell seeking now.
I'm getting Tainted Pact.
Yeah, get Pact, tick up Jace, and like kind of like our spot.
And it's storming here. I hope a tree doesn't fall on my house, but if it does, so be it.
It was good knowing you, Jarvis.
Well, I probably won't be dead, but I probably won't be on the Skype call anymore.
Excuses.
I think as excuses go, that's a pretty good excuse. What?
Unless you're getting devoured by a horde of ravenous cicadas, I don't want to hear it, okay?
I kind of just want to engineer and not even play the pact yet.
I agree. Yeah. We exiled the Oracle, Aramath.
Yeah, sure. It's fine. Now...
So now on no cards? Okay.
I could have minused on Spell Pierce first, actually. I should have thought about that, but... I think this is also okay. Fine.
Hold on. Do you want to minus on the token?
That's what I'm thinking about.
Yeah, you do, because if the card they draw is a removal spell, then we should be off the races.
Oh, I could have opted first and gotten Daze, too.
Yeah, but I think playing around Daze is...
And I think I should actually keep this Daze, given the current board state.
I like that, yeah.
Unfortunately, this is not Sunken Hollow, so I can't get my opponent. God, that was so nice. Except we lost that match. But it was a nice play, right?
Yeah, that's true, Sharp. That's a good point.
Also, we can just minus on our Toxic Deluge.
Oh, we can?
And you know what I think I'm going to do?
Are you going to minus on the Toxic Deluge?
Yeah, because... well, the other thing is, our thing's going to have 4 loyalty. But I'm going to actually attack first, because this time I have full info.
Hiya.
They were too smart.
I mean, it's actually... I guess I could draw exactly Wasteland, so whatever.
Wait. Also, hold on. What happens if I just pact for Oracle? Assume I don't get wasted. Oh, I guess that the Wasteland's the problem, right?
I mean, even then, you could... Like, if it's Wasteland, that means that Delver isn't flipping, which means your Jace is on 6, you can flashback on Deluge. Maybe that's the line, yeah.
So just plus on Delver, play Pact? In which case, I probably shouldn't have attacked.
Yeah, that's right. So what happens if they draw another Surgical in that case? Then it's kind of bad, right?
Oh, sure. I'm just gonna Deluge.
Yeah, okay, let's get the Deluge, yeah.
I think doing other things is just like asking for trouble for basically no gain.
Right.
Like, we're such in commanding position that I just want to reduce experience. This is an interesting decision. It's hard to improve here.
I mean, if you think you're under the gun, then kind of have to.
Just good muscle memory, always float. It doesn't cost you anything. Alright. Well, there's a 4-1
Nice.
chat! Really? That's a 4-1 the Tainted Pact. And honestly, that game felt really easy.
That was, yeah.
That was shocking. Huh. That game was shockingly... Well, that match was shockingly easy, but I don't know, like... I kind of feel like Dover actually has a really high ceiling to achieve.
What did we lose to again?
The Bant Loam Primeval Titan,
sure.
which I actually believe is legitimately a very good matchup for us, but...
I agree, and we kind of we gave them game 2, which is on the house, so...
But yeah, I don't know. I'm pretty happy with how the deck played out, you know? And
yeah,
I'm sure you are, because you bamboozled me into it.
Well, for sure, yeah. I mean, not saying this is the next Breakout Legacy deck, but it's the kind of thing which you can just have fun and blow off some steam with, you know? It's a very good, like, video deck, stream deck, that kind of thing.
Colin Roundtree giving us the daggers. Yeah, Delver ceiling really high. Yeah, our opponent made some decisions that I think were not very good, but including in deck construction, I think.
Yeah, so I was about to say, but
I kind of think straight rug to play that many iterations is leading to a lot of problems in your curve. And it also kind of looked like they didn't have Tarmogoyf in their deck, which is an interesting decision nowadays.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you want to play iteration, you have to keep it as lean as possible.
Yeah.
You have to choose between that card and like the true name Bone Crusher stuff. I don't think you can do it all at once.
No, I'm a lot less high on Borrower and Bone Crusher in those Rogue style decks because I think your deck is so good at mid-ranging already. Like, why are you introducing more mid-range elements when what you should be worried about is getting like combo killed by like an Elves player or like us, combo killing them with Tainted Pact, you know?
Yeah, I kind of get the Borrower more so because it does give you a kind of unique out in some situations, whereas Bone Crusher is just kind of what your deck is good at doing already, but slower.
Yeah, agreed with that. Anyways, someone was asking for chess. Well, on the stream, I generally don't open chess until someone subs or does something to invoke it. That's just how it goes. But,
what if the invocation is going 4-1 with Tainted Pact in the league? How about that, Travis?
Well, it looks like Colin just subbed, so that is enough incentive for me.
Game. Let's do it.
Game. Yeah, I like, clearly Colin just outplayed us by making me open a chest.
Oh, look at that fat sack of play points, Travis.
This card is from Strixhaven. It's in the draft format.
That Ajani was terrifying in its day, though.
Yeah, it was.
It won the set roulette this weekend.
I know. I talked to Jacob. His deck looked really good and better constructed than a lot of the other like aggro decks, I think. Wasn't the set roulette this time just like basically Merfolk and Merfolk adjuncts and Jacob being like, haha, Merfolk? How about Mirror Entity instead?
Basically, yeah, it turns out Mirror Entity very good against their Lord of Atlantis.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even think about that. But yeah, anything you want to change about this deck if you were to recommend it to other people?
I don't know, actually. It's hard to assess like the marginal value of any one slot, right? But
right.
I don't know. I think the main deck is pretty close, for sure. Could fiddle around with the sideboard. Do we want the second blue elemental blast, which would be a Hydro Blast? It's just tinkering around the edges, really. I think the core is good for what it is.
All right, Dom. He who is in the water redeemed open a treasure chest, which is another way you can make me open a chest. So you have to provide commentary on these cards that are opened. Well, this is a banger, so I don't know. It's kind of easy.
Oh yeah, standard All-Star Cube staple, fantastic in that format. A good one for birthing pod change. Just you pod your mana.
Oh, I forgot. And okay, I want to say one thing. One reason they can't really reprint pod is you can kill from a 1-drop now, I think, if you really want to, if you have enough mana. Because I believe the chain goes, pod away your 1, get Corridor Monitor, untap your thing, pod it into Renegade Rallier, get back your Monitor, untap, and then pod that into either Exarch or Resto Angel. Will pick your poison, and then eventually you can get to Kiki, whatever.
Yeah, there's a Feather Guardian now, which can like blink the pod,
sure.
famously, or just blink other stuff. It's I played some no banlist modern, and yeah, the pod chains were ridiculous in that format. Like if you untapped with 1-drop pod and nothing else, you would just win the game on the spot.
Well, you need like 5 mana, I think, or something like that, right?
Yeah, it's actually fairly cheap and compact in the end.
Okay, fair enough.